It's me, that guy. Hello, what's up? Hey, hello. Hi. Music, how's the sound? You know, it's the beginning of the stream. This is the part where I ask about the sound. Does my face look very red? It's from washing off the makeup from today's videos. Sound good. There's a first time for everything, baby. I have sound. Hey, all right. I'm excited for the stream tonight. I saw one person in chat say that they loved the new animated Bobby Duke, which is great to hear, because the response has been universally negative about animated Bobby Duke, and I'm not going to stop doing it. My GS uncle helped character design at Studio Made He-Mans. The new one, the current one, this one, the one that we're going to be talking about today. Here's this stream. Here's what this stream is about. A bunch of fucking nerds out there in Nerdland, right-wing Nerdland, are pissed off about the new He-Man. They feel that it doesn't have enough He-Man in it. It should have more He-Man, say they. And I think it's very funny that they could possibly care, because I don't know when was the last time like you went back and watched the old Masters of the Universe cartoons. It's not good, man. It's not good. Like, they never treated that property very seriously in those cartoons. I don't know why everybody has this idea that like you gotta pay deference to these old shitty cartoons that were toy commercials for toys that weren't even that great. Like, I get that you liked it as a kid and those childhood memories are still there, but like, it's not as good as you remember. I assure you. And like, that's putting aside the fact that like a lot of those shows were written by J. Michael Straczynski. That's his name, right? The guy who your Babylon 5 guy. Like, it was never good. It was never good. And we all have to pretend now like it was very good. And I watched the new Masters of the Universe cartoon. And I liked it. I had very little interest in watching it because of being an adult, and I didn't really, no offense, it was just like, yeah, I remember He-Man from when I was a kid. That's another one of those things. I have enough of those things right now. But there's a creative risk that I don't, if you haven't seen the show, I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's probably the only thing that any of these people are going to talk about. So I'm going to give you the count of 10 to bounce now. If you don't want to get the spoiler, I put in the title that is potential spoilers, so nobody's allowed to get mad at me. You can't just turn on the stream when I say it and go, oh, how was I supposed to know there'd be spoilers? Okay, so the count of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. In the first episode, He-Man and Skeletor appear to die, and then the rest of the series follows like what happens after that, several years after the fact, and the fallout of that. And I thought that was such a cool decision that I was like, all right, that's interesting, actually. Like, I would like to see what would happen. And I was not disappointed. It was a very good show that actually did things with all of these characters. Like, it gave them all personalities, so they're not just different colored action figures anymore. They all have goals that conflict with one another. It was fun. It was a fun show. Not great, not amazing, but it was fun. And the voice cast is stellar. You got Mark Hamill as Skeletor. You got Kevin Conroy, Batman himself, as Merman. You got Sarah Michelle Gellar as Teela. Lena Headey as Evil Lynn. You got fucking the guy from Game of Thrones, the Stannis' boyfriend, who's playing Man-at-Arms. Why not? A little bit. Tony Todd as Scareglow. which I didn't know I needed in my life until I saw it. Be sure to check out Heel versus Babyface. He had a complete man-child meltdown over it. Transliberation in chat. Can I get a transliberation in chat? I will add it to the list. Because we've got a few choice ones already. Some of the greatest hits. Some old friends. Some new friends. But I'll add that to the list. The 2002 cartoon was alright. It was. I really liked the 2002 cartoon. I only saw the first season. And the second season, it became about fighting snakes. And I was like, G.I. Joe fought snakes. He-Man didn't fight snakes. What's wrong with JMS? Nothing. I was pointing out the fact that despite the fact that they were written by JMS, who I think is a very good and talented writer, the show was bad. I don't think he had a lot of creative input, because even at the time, he was writing on the new Ghostbusters, or the real Ghostbusters rather, and that was a great cartoon with actually good writing. I'm not trying to hate on J. Michael Straczynski. I'm one of the 5 people that really liked his run on Spider-Man. Except for all the shit with the other. That was terrible. That was terrible. Have I caught the critical drinker? He's on the list. He's on the list, absolutely. Is it safe to unmute? I don't know if there's ever going to be a point in this stream where it is safe. Because, like, even if I decide I don't want to do any more spoilers, and it's going to be hard to talk about this show, given what it's about, without spoiling it a little bit. And the people whose videos I'm going to be reacting to, they're definitely going to spoil it. Jason Mewes was Stinkor? Paul Dini was a recurring writer on the show? That I believe. What happened to Sock Puppet Bobby Duke? He's around. Transliberation and Skeletor inspiration. Skeletor is trans, that's canon. So let's turn off the music for now, so that we can put on one of the video. So this one is called, and this is a really funny title. Like, you can tell that this YouTuber, Clownfish TV, who has 228 subscribers, so the exact same amount as I do. You can tell that they really put some thought and effort into what they were going to name their video, because it's called Netflix He-Man Producer Wanted Less Giant White Blonde Dudes in the Show. And that a recurring trend of these videos is going to be that they all have incredible titles. So let's, with no further ado, let's see what this guy's got to say. Also, I'll set the precedent now. 2 things, okay? I am not going to be held to having to watch the entire video if it gets boring. If it gets boring, we are bouncing. You know why? Because there are so many videos about this subject on YouTube. It is upsetting. Secondly, we have a new rule. It's the woke counter. Every time one of these fools says woke, we're going to add to the woke counter. And you can all make your bets now for how many you think that's going to be throughout the whole video. So let's see what's going on. Okay.
Shadowbinders is back in stock on shopclownfish.com.
It's quiet.
Shopclownfish.com. If you missed our Indiegogo, now's your chance. You can get the books again. And now on with the show.
Don't buy his fucking books, I bet that.
Netflix show confirmed.
Yeah, call me surprised. I'm not.
Hey guys, this is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And it keeps getting better and better. We're going to talk about Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe Revelation, the supposed sequel to...
I love that he just has them kind of floating. I love that. I love everything. Oh, cool. Chat's full of numbers. If we make it a drinking game, it'll be a massacre. That's why I specifically avoided using these words. I do not wish to encourage anyone to drink to this, as it will definitely be bad for you, bad for your health.
The 1980s He-Man series, which I don't think it really is. I mean, just looking at the trailers and tonally, it does.
So they haven't even seen the fucking show. They have a 26-minute video. They haven't even seen the fucking show. This is all about the trailers. And this, presumably this one little drawing of one of the character Grayskull from the show is what this whole 26-minute video took. 2 of them to get this 26-minute video about the trailer. I'm in the wrong end of YouTube. Let me tell you. When I make a video on Scaredy Cats, I have to watch a whole movie usually. You can still barely hear? I can fix this. You'll hear it now. Yo, we talking He-Man? My pal Eric wrote on the new show. He also wrote the recent JLU continuation, Justice League versus the Fatal Five. Highly recommend. Yo! I was about to say, that sounds like something you should bring up to the folks at DC Watchtower. And then I was like, now I see who wrote this message. My prediction, they will repeat talking points from each other and it will get boring anyway. Yeah, but that's why I'm here, to do my goofs and gaffs about it.
Does not mesh up with the Filmation show at all.
Oh, but it gets better.
It gets better.
And surprise to no one.
Surprise to no one, there is more race swapping going on. King Grayskull, who is the ancestor of Prince Adam, or at least he was in the 2002 series, has been race swapped.
First of all, no, he fucking hasn't. That's a new character. I don't know if he was an ancestor of Prince Adam in the 2002 one. Which canon is it that you want them to stick to, my guy? What?
That he has the power now. So we're gonna talk about that, because it's not the race swapping necessarily that is the issue, but rather the attitude.
Oh, it's the attitude. It's the attitude about it. It's not the race swapping, it's the attitude. Because honestly, if you do a polite race swap, that's fine. That's fine. I think it's fine to have black people in cartoons as long as you're nice about it. But if you're rude, then you shouldn't put black people in cartoons, I think.
Is the issue, because according to Kaylee Paley on Twitter, one of the writers working on the comic or working on the series said that we asked ourselves early on about the need for 2 giant white blonde dudes in the pantheon of Masters of the Universe. Hey guys, before we get into the video anymore, this is actually worse than we thought. It's actually the producer of the new He-Man show coming out and saying that they didn't want any more buff white dudes in the show, which is why they're...
I don't think that's what she said. It sounds like she said she didn't want it to be exclusively buff white dudes. It sounds like more like what she was saying.
Doing a race swap, which we'll talk about.
But that's fine. It's fine though if you do that, but you just have it depends on your attitude when you do it, is the thing.
But he did say too, though, that it was because they tried to use characters that weren't prevalent, which I had said in the video, which you'll hear moving forward, that I wondered that's why they did it.
Yeah, now this was actually on a He-Man and She-Ra fan group, and it was, we saw this after we'd recorded the video, but he was actually replying to this dude here, I think, Tim, who's like, ugh, I prefer making new, unique black characters rather than race swapping originally white characters. Instead of wearing your own shirt, you're getting a hand-me-down shirt from someone.
This shit drives me up the wall when they say that, because like, if they did that, if you instead of race swapping the beloved character King Grayskull, everybody's favorite character from the Masters of the Universe that everybody knows. I had the toy of King Grayskull when I was a wee lad. If they instead introduced a new character, I thought it was a new character. I didn't realize this was in any of the other versions. then you just be like, why are we spending so much time with these characters we don't care about, these new characters that nobody cares about? We want to get to the classic characters, the ones that we have an emotional connection to. It's just an excuse. Hey, Mildred, finally got around to watching Psycho Goreman on your recommendation. It was better than going to hell. Absolutely. It's better than almost all Afterlives. Which is why you should stay alive and watch Psycho Goreman. All these chuds also constantly talk about I'm Not Starfire. I think they obsess over it because it's hard to find other woke stuff as bad as they want it to be. I gotta tell you, I watched the video from I forget her name, but she's a non-trash comics YouTuber who covered it, and it seemed fine. I like the art in I'm Not Starfire. I understand why it was controversial. But by which I mean comics fans are babies. But it's fine. I don't think it's worth getting upset about. Imagine if these guys were around when Jon Stewart was chosen over Hal Jordan in Justice League. Oh, guaranteed they'd be complaining about that. Guaranteed. They would have been complaining about it in the comics.
Someone else.
Yep.
And this is Ted Biaselli. Ted Biaselli, who is the director of original series at Netflix, a Netflix guy, said, Tim, so he's answering a black guy, by the way, who said he doesn't want a hand-me-down character. Tim, I hear you, and that will indeed be a part of our story too. But a big hurdle when you're introducing a new character to a line of so many well-established characters is they're bound to be outsiders and harder to accept as canon, at least for a while. Nobody gives a shit about...
Yeah, and it's worth noting that one of the new characters that they introduced, one of the only new characters that they introduced, is a black woman who is heavily implied to be Tila's girlfriend.
Sir Laserlot. We asked ourselves... we asked ourselves early on about the need for two giant white blonde dudes in the pantheon of Masters of the Universe.
The pantheon, I mean the actual lore and history of the show.
Right. Honestly, it makes both...
No, they don't, because it's not real history. It's a cartoon.
Characters less special. I wish I could take credit for being the one with the idea to make Grayskull black, because now in the history of all the champions of Grayskull, a black man has a role of prominence, as opposed to just being the guy with the clamp, who's King Randor's bodyguard. Clamp Champ was a badass, and they had a lot they could do with him in the 2002 series.
Yeah, there's a lot you could have done with Clamp Champ. I don't understand why this character they put in when they neglect all of the great black characters from Masters of the Universe, like for example, Clamp Champ is one of them. You could have put him in there.
He was going to be Man-at-Arms replacement.
So basically, instead of just making the characters that existed that were black more badass for making new characters, we're going to take one of the prominent characters, make him black, and as a hand...
In no way was King Grayskull a prominent character. In no way. He was maybe at best in like a couple of episodes. I had no idea who this fool was. I'm familiar with Castle Grayskull. If they made Castle Grayskull into a black person, I could understand this complaint.
Hand-me-downs, here you go. But it's okay, because he's prominent and badass.
So here we go with the rest of the video.
The only praise you could give to this Clamp Champ, what was it, Clamp Champ? Was that his name? The only praise you could give to him was that he was so badass. And now you're like, oh, but this is supposed to be okay because he's so badass? What does it matter? What does it matter is the question. What, like, when you're watching this cartoon, why do you go like, hey, hold up. Am I meant to believe that this character is black? Make every character black. Who gives a shit? What does it matter?
If that's how it was in Masters of the Universe, who are they to get to change it?
The people making the fucking show. The people who are making literally all of the creative choices for this show. That's who they are. That's why they get to make those changes. Because every change is their choice. Because it's their TV show.
We're going to talk about that, because this is all, I think a lot of this is Netflix's doing.
I get that vibe,
probably.
Too, I said before, I don't understand why Kevin Smith, when he came down on high to learn us, made sure he tagged in Mattel and Did you check in Netflix too?
I think it was mostly Mattel. It might have been Netflix too.
But
King Grayskull was only in the reboot, not the original. If that's accurate, then these two are just beyond the pale. Pun intended, by the way. Black Castle Grayskull is Castle White Flight. This is what I love about streaming sometimes is chat will just make the funny jokes for me. I don't even have to try.
I'm just thinking maybe there was conversations about how it wasn't going to maybe go over as well as they had hoped.
Yeah.
And maybe people, and maybe he tried to tell them. I don't know. And that's because...
Yeah, Kevin Smith tried to warn them. You can't mess with beloved character King Grayskull. The fans simply won't accept a black... The world isn't ready for a black King Grayskull.
Why else would he do that? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so we're gonna talk about this, and just looking at everything going on with this show, that is very clear
that you haven't seen, that you haven't even fucking watched,
that Netflix probably had a heavy hand in the direction of it because
we know they did with She-Ra.
Yeah,
I think it's fair to say yes that the company that produced this cartoon probably had a hand in it. Yes. I think if you examine on the weight of evidence, yes, I think that's possible.
Every checkbox that Netflix is looking for in a TV show, they're race swapping characters, treating historically male characters badly.
In Hollywood, diversity just means women, lesbians, and black people.
Pretty much.
Yeah, famously, Hollywood. Oh, every movie nowadays. I went to watch Black Widow, and it was all just lesbians and black people. That was all that was in that movie. Every movie these days, let me tell you. What fucking planet do these people live on? Like, and even if it were true, even if that were the case, so what? Who cares? Am I wrong? Or like when white people were the predominant, and we still are, by the way, but when white people were like the de facto, everybody in a movie is white and nobody complains about it. Like, when nobody was sitting there like counting the races of all the different people in the movie. But now that suddenly there's this call for diversity and people are like, hey, it's actually kind of fucked up that we don't have a representative sample in media. Suddenly it's like, actually, there was already a black person in Masters of the Universe. His name was Clamp Champ. Why do you need two?
Pretty much.
Where are the Asians? Where are the Hispanic people?
Oh no, actually, it depends in Hollywood. I guess that wasn't.
No,
Netflix.
I mean in like He-Man.
Yeah, well, they're probably not going to have Jitsu because Jitsu is problematic because they considered him to be a racist stereotype, and also I noticed that the new Ninja.
So I don't remember this Jutsu character. But I'm gonna guess that he definitely was a racist stereotype. Let's do a little experiment here. Also, I'm disappointed they haven't said the word woke even once. I'm blown away at that. I'm gonna guess this is like a martial arts character that looks really racist. That's my guess. Yup. Yep. Called it. Yeah, it's pretty racist, actually. I think if they said, hey, we shouldn't put that guy in, a pretty good call, actually.
Or I don't think his mask comes off. He used to be able to take his mask off.
Again, Hollywood thinks that diversity means women, lesbians, and black people.
Yeah.
Is that the complaint? Is the complaint that, in fact, rather than actual diversity, the diversity is limited to women, black people, and lesbians? because I think you could make a case for the women and lesbians part. I think that oftentimes companies will use women loving women for their queer characters because that's perceived as less threatening than men loving men. But the rest of it, I don't feel like there's a preponderance of black people in Hollywood, or women are taking over every movie. Like,
we're gonna talk about this. Grab some popcorn. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants. Guys, we're over 205,000 subs. Woo-hoo! Thank you for the support. Yeah, so I guess the comic.
This person has gained 23,000 subscribers this month. That I'm doing my job badly.
Comic book tie-in is coming out, and they're recapping the history of the Power Sword. That this is King Grayskull. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with King Grayskull,
which is literally everyone, everyone in your audience who is now mad that this character is black had to Google him. I guarantee that.
Doesn't surprise me. He wasn't really that prominent in Masters of the Universe lore.
So it's even better. They're going to race swap characters, but characters that you didn't know about.
Well, that's what they did with was it Andrea?
That's not.
What is happening? What is happening? I feel like I'm losing my mind because their whole complaint up until this point is that it's been such a prominent character that they race swapped, and now it's like, oh, they couldn't even do it with a prominent character.
I'm saying.
Yeah, like nobody cared.
No, I mean, I honestly, Andrea especially, I had no problem with because it was a character that was very minor character. No one cared. I mean, why?
As opposed to King Grayskull. The famous King Grace. When I think of characters from the Masters of the Universe, I think first I think King Grayskull, then I think Stinkor, Beastman, Fakor, the blue He-Man, and then I think He-Man, Skeletor, Man-at-Arms, etc.
Just make new characters. Who the hell knows? But to be fair, they probably get shit for doing that too. If we're going to be honest.
Yeah, but, you'd give it to them.
At least they're picking up characters that weren't very well known. Because they're going to make big changes that's going to, have it, people are going to be upset about. It's better to go with characters that, aren't like, super popular, everybody knows them characters, and then you can make them popular. But, later on with this version.
Yeah, so here's the thing. King Grayskull is the ancestor of, Prince Adam, King Randor, right?
Not in the show, by the way. He isn't in the show that they're talking about. No, he isn't. So, just another little thing is that they haven't seen the show and they don't know anything about how this character behaves in the show. So, there's that.
And depends on the continuity. They had the comic book continuity. Now, the 2002 series is where I was most familiar with King Grayskull. Because they actually gave, and that's what I loved about the 2002 series, they actually gave a logical explanation for everything.
Yeah, they gave because it's completely illogical in this show that this character would be a black person. It doesn't make any sense. It's illogical. And granted, I haven't seen the show yet, so maybe it makes sense in context. But in the 2002 one, it made sense. He was a big, beefy boy.
Filmation just kind of made it up on the fly, but you could tell with the Mike Young series that they actually put some thought into the backstory of where Castle Grayskull came from, where the power of Grayskull came from. And it came from King Grayskull, who was like proto He-Man and was a...
Yeah, but that's so boring. That's like the most boring explanation is like, there used to be a different He-Man who looked exactly the same, but he had a little cape.
Complete badass. Like, he actually kind of made He-Man look like a pussy. Mm-hmm. This guy went toe-to-toe with Hordak, and he had his own episode. It was like...
Yeah, so did the one in the new show, which you haven't seen, so...
flashback episode, And Hordak, by the way, in the 2002 series, was not an emo pussy. If I can find Badass Hordak. There we go. Badass Hordak, not an emo pussy. Yeah, he was awesome. And this whole episode...
Man, Hordak used to be so cool. That Hordak used to be so cool, man. He used to be so cool, and they just made him a complete pussy. You know? Like, yeah, I'm not even scared of Hordak anymore. When I watched this cartoon, I'm like, what a weakling Hordak is. Alt-right on New He-Man. The card says moops. A moops.
It was awesome. You can find it on YouTube, actually. It's The Power of Grayskull. And it gives you the fabulous secret history of Castle Grayskull, where the sword came from, where the sorceress came from. And she wound up overseeing the castle after he sacrificed.
Oh, typical garbage. Typical woke garbage. They have a woman look over the castle.
Himself. Well, spoilers. Anyway,
which is why I think they're going to try and do something like that with the new show, too.
Probably. Anyway, the tie-in comic comes out, and we know that they're going to touch on the history of King Grayskull, because they've also cast an actor for King Grayskull. Now, we were talking before we recorded that they also have Phil LaMarr playing Hero.
Yes.
So Hero, again, is... Well, it depends on the timeline, but there was a hero that...
Let me tell you about Hero, because I actually, in this episode, I thought that Hero was going to turn out to be a villain. I thought would be the twist, because he seemed like too obviously heroic. So I looked him up on the Masters of the Universe wiki. This was a prototype action figure for a He-Man spin-off that never got produced. So this is now the character that they're complaining about that could potentially be black. Turns out wasn't. Turns out he was just played by Phil LaMarr, who does voices for everybody in cartoons. Very prolific voice actor. The person they're now complaining about, how it's an insult to canon what they're going to do with this character, is a prototype action figure for a cartoon that never got made.
It was supposed to be another ancestor of He-Man. That was supposed to happen in the original Mattel series. But there also was talk of a hero that would have been the son of Teela and Adam. Mm-hmm. But now that we know that King Grayskull is, I would say African American, but there is no Africa in Eternia. Mm-hmm. So he's a black...
There's also no America, it's worth pointing out.
Dude, this big buff black dude. It's possible that we're going to go through the timeline and have him, and then Hero, and then He-Man, or...
Hero replaces He-Man.
Or Hero replaces He-Man. Given the direction...
Yeah, or, none of those things would happen, is another option. Like, if you've actually watched the show, none of those things happen is the actual thing.
This show, that it's very...
I just don't know if they would go that far.
This is Netflix.
Mattel, though. I don't know if Mattel
even...
No. Mattel is chill. Mattel, my favorite toy guys, they're chill. They would never hurt my friend He-Man. And they would make Hordak so cool. They would, if it was up to Mattel, if Netflix got out of the way and Mattel could make the choices, they would make Hordak so badass you have no idea. But Netflix, they're in there like, we don't want He-Man. We don't want this marketable, beloved character. We want Hero. That's who we want.
Mattel has any say in what the hell's going on. I'm kind of getting the vibe that, like, Mattel's like, we want to do He-Man, but we need some help with the money because we're kind of broke. Okay. Oh, bunch of big blonde white guys.
We have a new inclusion, guidelines that you have to meet, and that's what this is about.
Yes.
But I just don't know if Mattel would go along with that. I really don't.
I don't know. Or they're just gonna wind up.
Hey, why does he talk like this? Why is his voice like this? I don't know. It's hard to say what Mattel will do.
I still think by the end of it, they're going to be like, yeah, we don't need He-Man anymore. Everybody has the power. We all have the power. But it's very clear.
Yeah, famously, when toy companies are very famous for this, is what they do is they like to get rid of the very marketable characters that everyone would buy a toy of. That's That's like their main prerogative, is making sure nobody buys any toys. Did they say woke? I missed it. They said woke? All right, I'm trusting chat. Many people have commented that they said woke. I'd missed it. I was too invested in this Mattel v Netflix drama. We got our first woke, everybody. I thought it would be going a lot quicker than this. A friend of mine did storyboarding on the new series, works for Mattel. I didn't make it through the first episode. Well, tell your friend to make Hordak more badass. Give him big guns, and he comes in and he shoots Skeletor, and he's like, "Fuck you." That's how you make a good TV show. The fuck is a race swap. I think I understand what is trying to be said, but race swap sounds like it's a made-up term that they're just running with. It's like if you, I don't think it's a term that a lot of people use, but it's, they're using it to mean like when the character is originally white and they make the character black, which is a problem. You can't do that because if the character's black, everybody, then it's not the same as in the original cartoon where he wasn't in it.
Clear that He-Man's going to take a powder early on, and the power sword's going to get lost, broken, stolen, something, and he's going to spend a lot of time probably as Adam, so Teela has to be the man.
Oh, man. Oh, man, if they only knew. They would be so... They're going to... Oh, I would love to be in a fly on the wall when they find out what actually happened. Also, can we just say, why are they obsessively following a cartoon that they are no longer interested in watching? Like, I fucking love Batman, right? If they made a new Batman movie and I thought, it doesn't look that good, I wouldn't like spend the time until it came out cataloging all of my problems with it and like doing 26-minute podcasts about everything about it that makes me mad.
And that's also been confirmed. Teela's man-at-arms, side shave Teela, and now we're going to go back. So I want to know, does this mean Adam is actually black?
Well, you know what? It's possible to have black
Probably
ancestors and not be black. I mean, people are light skinned and might have come from, African bloodlines. It happens often.
I mean, literally everyone. Literally everyone came from Africa. They're going into some cool one drop rule shit that I am here for. Let's hear your opinions on what makes someone white. Let's get into it.
Yeah, and look, I'm not against race swapping characters all the time.
Sure,
I want
seems
to be
like
very
you
clear
are
about that, and I'm not against that. My thing is like, look, we've got Clamp Champ. Why the hell aren't you making him a main character? Why you put?
Why are you ignoring Clamp Champ? Well, I gotta see what Clamp Champ looks like. I gotta see this Clamp Champ character. Clamp Champ. Yeah. Why didn't they just make this guy the hero of the show? He's so much better. Why didn't they just make this guy the hero of the show? Look how strong he is. Look at his little Speedo. This guy's cool. I like this guy. What a cool guy. We got Clamp Champ. Well, I think Clamp Champ's all you need. And from this logic also, since there's one white character, He-Man, that's the only white character you need. Right? I don't understand how they can... I don't understand why they're race swapping when they have perfectly good characters like Clamp Champ, who has a giant clamp that he carries around. He's the champion of it. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Beep. Love Clamp Champ. Here for that.
Putting Roboto in there instead of freaking Clamp Champ.
I don't know. Why don't just...
They did put Roboto in there. Roboto. Oh no, he's saying why did they put Roboto in there? Because if you watch the show, Roboto actually has a very important role. Hey, so my name is Jesse. Actually, you have to use that name for a company communications, but you're so poggers. I gotta go to bed, but I'll watch the VOD later. But mega heart eyes for you, dude. Thanks, Jesse. Jesse, when you watch the VOD, please comment your feelings about the beloved Masters of the Universe character Clam Champ.
Make some new characters.
Make some new characters.
Just make some new characters.
I mean, but again, like
and Clam
you're
Champ.
gonna do it, I guess, using characters that are like less known, so that you can make them more known, and then people will recognize them that way. Makes sense, I guess. But it's just, I'm just like, of course it is. For me, more, it's just like, of course they did, because anything you could possibly think that they would do in current year, they're gonna do. So it's like
yeah, anything you can possibly think of, they'll do. Like for example, He-Man will turn into a cat. They'll do that. Skeletor is not going to be a skeleton anymore. He's going to be a Frankenstein, is a thing they're definitely doing on the show, because I can imagine it. It's like anything you can imagine they're going to do.
Expectations not subverted. I totally expected them to do this stuff. We'll probably have characters that were male that suddenly appeared as women now.
Oh, heaven forbid. Heaven for... No! Like, who cares? Who cares? Like, for real? Are you not adults?
Probably. But yeah, to have one of the writers come out and say, we asked ourselves earlier, and apparently this is the real deal. It's on the Facebook group.
Yeah, I wonder where it was coming from.
Yeah, I don't want to like out anybody on the Facebook group, so I'm not going to go there. But the fact that they're like early on, like there are too many buff white men. So what can we do? Okay, one of them we can take all the power away and have the woman take over, and the other one we'll just make him black.
Yeah, pretty much. It's
yeah,
like,
one of those things didn't happen, and B, so what? Why is that a problem? That's called a plot line, my guy.
Well, how are we going to take this and make it so it's more current year and fair to everyone? And Adam looks like a woman. Have you noticed that? Tia looks like a dude, and Adam looks like a girl.
I hate the Adam design. I absolutely effing hate it. I mean, people were making comparisons between him and Prince Valium from Spaceballs.
Yes.
But they made him look...
I think he sees that he's a little bit confused. It creates a feeling in him, and he doesn't know what it is, and he doesn't like it. The thing is, in the old cartoon, He-Man and Adam looked exactly the same. Because they didn't want to make two animation models. So he's the exact same guy, except wearing different clothes, fewer clothes, when he's He-Man. I think the new series makes him look like a little wimpy guy when he's Adam. And he's a big, strong. He's way bigger when he's He-Man. He's like incredibly cartoonishly big. I think it's great. It's fun.
Very femme and very weak and very girly, and he didn't. I mean,
they have Hero and...
Yeah, they made Adam submissive and breedable in the show. Pouring one out for all the sad boys who saw Tila with a new haircut and their dink fell off. Yeah, like literally this show castrated everybody that watched it.
Vicor?
Oh, Vicor.
Because Hero's here, I guess.
Okay.
So now, so this makes more sense. So here's King Grayskull.
So there's
Hero and Vicor.
Okay.
Those are the Guardians of He. Are they allowed to be are you allowed to say the Guardians of He? Isn't that problematic?
The Guardians...
No, it wouldn't be. But it is the stupidest sounding name I've ever heard in my life. It's not problematic. It's just that like maybe we could spend like 2 seconds to think of a cooler name for them.
Of He. The She-Man Woman Haters Club.
I'm just like, okay, are you allowed to say that?
So are they gonna go Avatar on it and be like, these are all the past incarnations of He-Man?
Yep.
That's what I'm wondering. Okay,
no, that's what I think is going on.
That's what they did, yeah. Yeah.
I think it's supposed to be the past incarnations.
Yeah, okay, so that makes sense with Hero. Yeah, because he had gold armor. He was... So what they were gonna do... If I remember correctly, is they were going to do Preternia, and they were going to go back to the past with Masters of the Universe in like 87, 88, if the line had continued, and they were going to have Hero and
So now what we're doing. So now what they're doing. Now what's happening is he's complaining that this cartoon doesn't match up with the lore of a proposed cartoon that never got made. And the prototype action figure. They didn't respect the lore of Preternia is the problem.
Eldor, who's like Merlin, basically, and then they were going to have dinosaurs with laser guns strapped to their heads.
Mm-hmm. But, we know
I'm
this
just ending
because,
it there.
when you're actually fans of the original show and you had the toys and you actually pay attention to this stuff, you would know this. So, I mean, they are taking...
Yeah. If you had the toys and if you're a fan of the show, then obviously you would remember this prototype toy that never went into production for a television show that never got made. Real fans know this stuff. This is like complaining Disenchanted made Bender a cat. Holy cow. What does that mean? What? Disenchanted, is this not a Disney movie? And is Bender not the robot from Futurama? I don't understand. All right. I grow weary of this video. We're moving on to the next one. Here's a nice little refresh. Here's a nice little rewind for old school BreadTube fans. This guy used to be all over this platform, and I thought he was gone. I thought he was off, went into the sunset, was doing his thing out there, just doing his, out, just living life, vibing, not a cell phone in sight. No, he's still around. He's still doing the exact same thing. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you War Corps 666, now known as Lord of Patriarchy. This guy's the most manly guy. He's so manly. You have no idea. He's so manly that he exists in every time zone. And he has a big bushy beard. And he thinks Masters of the Universe, ladies and germs, it's woke trash. I'm counting it. I'm counting that. Folks, if you don't have any idea. This is the saddest person in the world. This guy is like congealed patheticness. I am so excited. I haven't watched even a second of this, and I'm so pumped.
It's going to be fucking spoilers, so if you haven't watched Masters of the Universe Revelation, my advice would be to shut the video off right now.
He's already mad. He's already mad that somebody might complain that he's spoiling this show. Why are you so mad?
I'll give you 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. If you're still here, well, I gave you a fucking warning. Not that I give a sauteed rat's ass about that.
Oh, he does. Fuck you. I don't even care. It doesn't even bother me if you're mad. Whatever. I'm going to spend the first 25 seconds of my video talking about it, but I'm not mad. Should I turn him down? Is he too loud? I'll turn him down a little.
Oh my god, I just got done watching the first 5 episodes of Masters of the Universe Revelation, and why didn't you just have the fucking sorceress put a goddamn strap-on on and fuck He-Man up the ass with it?
Based. I totally agree. Why didn't they do that? That would have been pog as hell. Why didn't they? I'm with him on this. I thought I was going to disagree with his takes a lot. I'm 100% on his side here.
Why didn't he become a chastity cage wearing fucking beta simp like...
This guy's making so much sense. I really thought we were going to be on different sides of the aisle here, but he's making some points.
Kevin Smith is for this series. Now, to be fair, I went into it with an open mind.
Clearly.
Hoping that it would be good.
Yeah.
And the first couple of episodes, I was actually enjoying myself, even though I wish it would have been called something different, because Kevin Smith lied, and it is the Tila show.
But it's not. It's specifically not called He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. It's called Masters of the Universe, implying that it's the greater world of the Masters of the Universe, and they took the He-Man part out of it. So, I don't know why you'd want to change the name.
But it actually somewhat started to work. And then
you can like feel him run out of breath from yelling. Also, real happy about the pause that I've done. Real love the face he's making. He yells and then he has to like take a breath and go like, okay. And another thing, Stinkor didn't have a big enough dick.
And the second to last episode was weak as hell. I do like the more adult themes. I was not happy with Orko's death, but he went out like a hero.
Kevin Smith, you don't know shit about Orko. Orko says silly rhymes and does magic wrong, buddy. You don't know. You had to fucking woke it up. Orko doesn't fit into your agenda.
And then the last goddamned episode happened.
So I'll just say this. The last episode of the first 5 episodes that have aired, the 5th episode, I guess it would be easier to say, kicked ass. It ruled. It had an incredible ending that was like, it was one of those things where when it happened, I was like, this is exactly what I wanted to see in this show.
Now, look, to be fair, it's acted well. The animation is good.
Okay, we're being fair.
The story at times can be compelling.
Mm-hmm.
But, and I don't know if I would have been fine with it if it was some new intellectual property, but it's He-Man.
This show, if it were a new intellectual property, it would be nothing. It is the only thing that makes it interesting is that it's a recontextualization of the characters from this cartoon that you're already familiar with. Having them move on from the cartoon that was static, where every episode ended the same as it began so that you could watch the episodes out of order, to watch them then progress forward. That's what makes the show interesting. If it was a new IP, it'd be nothing. It would be boring.
And this is what the big spoiler is. In the last episode, Skeletor kills Prince Adam. So there'll be no fucking He-Man in Masters of the Universe. And I guarantee you, I know where this is going.
So, no, he didn't. Skeletor stabs Prince Adam through the gut, and he falls over in pain, and like Tila's over him. It is left a cliffhanger whether he's alive or dead. And then Skeletor grabs the Sword of Power and gets the power of Grayskull, which kicks ass. That's a great ending. It's like, didn't you always want to see that in the cartoon? What happens if Skeletor gets his way? And, like, what are they going to do about it? Skeletor was already a match for He-Man, and now he's got all of He-Man's powers. So what are they going to do? That's a cool idea for a story. Puts the characters on their back foot.
Now you have Super Skeletor or Skeletor Man or whatever the fuck.
Why are you mad?
And it will be Teela.
It probably won't, is the thing. The show goes out of its way to foreshadow that Teela has a different destiny. And if you're familiar with the Masters of the Universe lore, what they're probably foreshadowing is that Teela is a goddess, because she's in the lore, she's like a clone of a battle goddess that was raised by Man-at-Arms. But even if it were, okay. Still fine. Who cares?
He-Man is going to be fucking Teela. Teela, the side head shaved fucking lesbian. Yeah, okay, it's not exactly explicitly put in there, but you kind of get the hint.
So mad. I was okay with He-Man being a woman, but I draw the line at He-Man having a different haircut and being a lesbian.
So once again, another classic male hero has to be sacrificed
Another one.
on the altar of wokeness.
Hey! I'm counting wokeness as a woke. It counts.
Fucking brilliant.
Why is it bad, though?
You know, boys need heroes too.
Yep. Mm-hmm. That's the problem, is that there's no characters on the show for men to look up to. Little boys watching this show, they have no characters they can relate to. They have to deal with He-Man's only in a couple episodes. There's Man-at-Arms, there's Roboto, there's Orko, there's the King Grayskull, but he's black, so obviously you can't look up to him. It's a race swap. And there's not even Clamp Champ.
What heroes does a young boy of 5 or 6 right now have?
Here's the question. Why can't a young boy look up to a woman as a hero? What is the problem with that? There were female superheroes when I was a lad. She-Ra is one example. Sailor Moon, another.
Oh, that's right, none. They're all fucking girls because a bunch of fucking asshole.
Yep. There's no heroic male characters anywhere to be found. Spider-Man, never heard of him. Batman, never heard of him. Superman, who? Never heard of any of these characters. John Wick, who's that? I guess John Wick's not really heroic, and not for kids, obviously, but still. This is a ridiculous point. What are you talking about, my guy? There's so many... He-Man is in the fucking show.
A bunch of fucking leftist assholes decided, oh, God forbid we have male heroes.
Yeah, that's... Communism is when you don't have male toys. And the fewer male toys there are, the more communist it is. This guy drinks soda like he's afraid it's going to run away.
So, yeah. A Masters of the Universe series without fucking He-Man.
He-Man's in it.
Teela will take up the mantle like Aaron goddamn to you.
Okay. Probably not, but even if she does, so?
Or her lesbian black girlfriend will.
Oh, no.
And Teela will become the fucking sorceress, and it just sucks.
What? He-Man doesn't become the sorceress when he get... Wait, what? What? Have you even seen the show? Like, are you even familiar with the Masters of the Universe? He-Man does not become the Sorceress. And if the complaint was that they get rid of the Sorceress and replace her with Teela, that's swapping a woman for another woman.
Once again, we've had to cut a male heroic character's balls off, all on the altar of fucking feminism.
No. They make it explicit in the show that, like, He-Man dies this heroic death to save Eternia. He is not at all emasculated by this. And can I add that, like, the plot arc of every episode of Masters of the Universe was everybody sits around waiting for He-Man to show up. He-Man shows up, solves the problem, immediately leaves. So getting rid of the big, powerful guy that the heroes depend on in every episode to get them out of scrapes and jams raises the dramatic stakes dramatically. That was a poorly constructed sentence. Raises the stakes dramatically. That's an exciting premise. They didn't just do it because Kevin Smith ideologically hates men. It's because it tells a better story. It tells a story.
So, yeah. I was fine with it, and then the last episode happened. Adam dies like a bitch, and there's not going to be any fucking He-Man. So yeah, Kevin Smith, you fucking lied to everyone right to their goddamn faces.
Kevin Smith, you told me that my favorite toy was gonna be on the kids show, and then the toy died. Another toy came and killed my favorite toy. And you lied to me and you said it wouldn't happen. And I'm an adult who places a lot of my identity around which toys are on screen at any moment, and that really affected me.
And watch. You're going to see a bunch of people saying, because people like me didn't like it or thought it was bullshit, oh, you're just toxic fans. You're just toxic fans.
But I'll say you are absolutely toxic fans. But, like, you could not like it and not be a toxic fan. There are plenty of people watching this stream right now who I imagine didn't like the show just because they didn't like this story, or they didn't like the animation, or they thought the dialogue was bad, or whatever. There's plenty of things you can criticize about the show. Or maybe you're just, not interested in the Masters of the Universe because it's a toy commercial. You kind of outgrow it as an adult. But the fact that what you were specifically mad about is, like, not the way the story went, but your assumption that the story was made this way out of some perceived leftist infiltration agenda.
Fuck you. How about you have some respect?
You're calling me toxic? Fuck you. I'm not toxic. Go fuck yourself.
Respect for the intellectual properties. Oh, wait, I take that back, Kevin. You were fine with what they did to fucking Luke Skywalker. Why don't you take your fucking beta simp bitch ass and stick the fucking strap on your wife puts on up your fucking ass?
Based?
And fuck off.
Why don't you go keep doing the cool, dope shit you do, and I'm gonna sit here in my musty basement drinking my orange sodas, mad that the cartoon was bad.
Jesus fucking goddamn Christ. They made He-Man a bitch in Masters of the Universe.
He-Man is significantly stronger than he was in the old cartoon. He-Man is very big. I disagree.
Fucking brilliant. Great. This won't cause problems. Anyway,
What problem?
that wraps.
He says that like it's so self-evident that it will cause problems. What problems is it going to cause? What? I would genuinely love to know. Lord of Patriarchy, if you're watching, and I think you would be, I get the impression he would really enjoy my content. What problems do you think are going to come about as a result of He-Man becoming a bitch, as you so eloquently put it? After learning why some people didn't like the show, I now feel like I have to clarify to the world that I'm not with these people. It just wasn't for me. Exactly. See? That's a non-toxic person that just didn't like it. That's fine. There's lots of TV shows I don't like. It's okay to not... No one is mad that you don't like a TV show. They didn't put my favorite toy in the show. I'm so mad. Folks, you knew he had to make an appearance. You knew I couldn't make a video about Masters of the Universe, drama around a Masters of the Universe property without getting in my hero, my best friend, Jeremy the Quartering Hambley. Ladies and germs, he's got quite a few videos on the subject. I picked one kind of at random because I think this one's going to surprise you. I think this one he's going to be on Kevin Smith's side.
What's on, everyone? Jeremy.
That's Jeremy. You know Jeremy. Where it's just all these beards on the show. Am I right? Yeah. This is Jeremy. You know him. He's got a 1.13 million subscribers. So Netflix silences Kevin Smith on Masters of the Universe Revelation as season 2 in doubt. Pretty sure it's been confirmed for season 2. But either way, who cares? Now, if there's one thing you can say about Jeremy, is that one thing he will never stand for is when a big company tries to silence somebody just because they don't like what they're saying. That he's always saying how much he doesn't like that. So you know, he's gonna be backing up Kevin Smith. Finally, somebody is gonna be on Kevin's side. Also, he has a sign in the back that says, "Get woke, go broke." I'm counting it. Okay. Let's go. Let's find out. Netflix is silencing Kevin Smith. Let's find out why. From a real news source for a change.
What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I hope you're having a wonderful day. And as the
Thank you.
Hullabaloo around Masters of the Universe Revelation comes to an end, at least for the first time, because obviously we're going to get part 2 of Masters of the Universe Revelation, which is allegedly an Evil Lynn story. How original. There's been some...
What? Yeah, this is what I'm sick of with the... Ugh. Another one of these franchises is going to be focusing on Evil Lynn exclusively. How original. Why can't they do something new for a change? Like make every episode about He-Man. How about they do that for once? My gender angers these dudes. This fills me with power. Pishpon, you have the power of Grayskull. Jeremy isn't even going to talk about pegging. What's the point of watching it? We don't know that. You don't know that. You're making assumptions. I'm going into this with an open mind.
Some interesting developments. First of all, it has now been nearly 10 days since Kevin Smith tweeted a single thing about Masters of the Universe Revelation, which is a bizarre thing for a man so proud of his product, for a company like Netflix. So
that's fucking weird, isn't it? That somebody would go 10 days without tweeting about a cartoon that they wrote some of the dialogue for? It doesn't seem right. Something's got to be going on here.
Proud of the controversy that it stirred up. It's bizarre that he hasn't said a single word about it in nearly 2 weeks. I wonder why that is.
This is a real victory for you. You cowed him into silence. You got him. You got him to shut up. Oh, you're so proud of it. How come you're not tweeting about it?
Almost as if somebody at Netflix told him to shut up about it. I wonder.
Yeah, it's probably
Did Netflix silence?
Let's just Evan I'm having trouble typing. Kevin Smith, Twitter. Let's see what Kevin Smith's tweeting. Yeah, no Masters of the Universe here. You know what? I gotta say, it's like he's hiding. He tweets almost every day, but I don't see any Masters of the Universe. What's going on? The last time he tweeted about it was June 26th. Yeah, the show's canceled. That's gotta be it. Clamp Champ, what do you say? He says it's canceled too. I still had the tab open for Clamp Champ. I had to show that off again.
Silence Kevin Smith on Masters of the Universe Revelation, or is he just finally done pretending like it's a good show? Finally done pandering? Finally done?
I think given that it's his show, he probably still thinks it's good, Jeremy. Like, he made it.
Mainlining copium, telling the actual fans of the show just how great it is, and they just don't get it because they're all just a bunch of haters. I'm not exactly sure, but it's really bizarre to me. If I had a brand new show, right, hit Netflix, be top 10 trending on Netflix for about 8 minutes, I think I would be tweeting about it. Don't you think?
Yeah, but you have nothing else going on in your life. Kevin Smith is married, has kids, and has a thriving career. Like, this would be the most important thing that ever happened to you. And he's probably pogged about this show, don't get me wrong. But I don't think it's that unusual to not tweet specifically in 10 days about a cartoon that you worked on.
I wonder what's going on here. Could they have told him to stop antagonizing the fans? It's certainly possible.
It's possible, and therefore it happened. It definitely happened because it is a potential thing that could have happened. Confirmed.
Did Netflix do this? I don't know. I don't know if they would ever come out and say it, but it sure seems odd that suddenly and like unceremoniously, Kevin Smith immediately stopped talking about Masters of the Universe.
He did unceremoniously. He didn't announce his moratorium on tweeting about this cartoon. He simply stopped tweeting. Very suspicious. Is it possible that Netflix said something to him? Is it possible that maybe aliens from space were so mad when they saw the show that they abducted Kevin Smith and replaced him with an identical doppelganger who's never seen the show, and so he can't tweet about it? It's possible. It's possible.
Immediately is just tweeting nonstop about Clerks 3, a movie nobody wants. It's curious to me. When we look at just some of the comments, I mentioned this yesterday about how Netflix released these early this week, right? So Netflix releases these featurettes, maybe you would call them, about Masters of the Universe, and Kevin Smith doesn't tweet them out. Kevin Smith doesn't say a thing about them. That seems odd to me. It seems like Netflix would want him to do that. It seems like...
What are you basing this on? This can't be the whole video. This can't be it. This can't be... The title of this video is Netflix silences Kevin Smith on Masters of the Universe Revelation as Season 2 in doubt. And so far, he has multiple times said that he does not know if Netflix has silenced Kevin Smith.
If I were Kevin Smith and I wanted to make sure I had a Season 2, I would probably be promoting the show that I worked so hard on. Yet, nothing from Kevin Smith. Top comments, by the way, every video, this video from August 2nd, has 1,000...
The top comment, you still owe Clownfish TV and the fans an apology for what you did to He-Man. And Clamp Champ, my hero, Clamp Champ.
800 downvotes to just 785 upvotes. Top comment being, you still own Clownfish TV and the fans an apology for what you did to He-Man. How about Kevin Smith ruined my childhood favorite show, Netflix, and I hope you did something to fix the ridiculous narrative that Kevin Smith put us through.
Yeah, man. When I'm looking for an objective, neutral place where I can get my information, YouTube comments. Famously mild, famously moderate, famously nice and polite YouTube comments. That's where I would go.
If Kevin Smith made Rocky, Rocky would have died in the first act, sacrificing himself, getting run over by the Zamboni driver, and Adrian would have fought Creed and beat him in the first round.
Have you seen Rocky? Because Rocky loses. That's the point of the movie, is that he loses, but he went the distance.
Actually, not that far from what I would expect. I didn't grow up with He-Man, but what I find kind of funny is Kevin told people to grow up, but then just look at the room behind him. He dressed the way he dresses for a man in his 50s, and he had a Jeremy, how dare you? This could absolutely be a comment about you. You have a Pokemon Where's Waldo displayed in your background, bud. You don't get to complain about Kevin Smith's bedroom. George Lucas Star Wars prequel, to the point where he made an episode where Kevin took Lucas to court for the prequel movies.
Yes, this sounds like what the kids call a joke. Kevin Smith is always out there complaining about media he doesn't like. I would never do that in my 11-minute video about how the Masters of the Universe Revelation is woke garbage, and Netflix is silencing him.
Tila is a great example for the kids to yell at their parents who just lost their child. Great writing, Kevin. Masterpiece.
No, but first of all, in context, yeah, because she found out in that moment that one of those people was keeping a huge secret from her, and the other one had been abusing his son like his whole life and calling him like useless and a piece of garbage, and then suddenly was sad when he found out he was He-Man. So yeah, it's in context, actually. Yeah, yell at them a little bit. Jeremy and K. Smith are secretly the same person. Jeremy's just trying to throw us off the trail. I mean, have you ever seen them together in the same room? No, I haven't seen them in the same room, but I assume that most comic conventions have security guards that keep Jeremy out.
I mean, there isn't a single positive comment in here. How about we look at Masters of the Universe Revelation in 60 seconds? This guy doesn't even feature Kevin Smith. This video, by the way.
This whole video, they didn't even get Kevin Smith for this video. It's his whole career is falling apart. They didn't put him in the video.
968 upvotes, 1.6 thousand downvotes. Top comments: make your own franchises to ruin. Leave our childhoods alone. Master of the Universe Revelation summarized even shorter. It's the Tila show. I'm no fan of He-Man either. Kevin Smith. Wow, now I'm really hyped to watch the original 80s He-Man. This trash can just burn.
Yeah, just go do that then. Who cares?
I was expecting He-Man. What I got was She-Man. When are you people going to create your own?
Oh, that tickled him. He's like, oh, very clever wordplay. She-Man. Oh, good stuff.
Heroes. I mean, I understand that YouTube trends a little more male, and it's probably getting a little older these days as Zoomers use things like TikTok.
Yeah, and also probably fucking no person who is below the age of 30 even knows what the fuck Masters of the Universe even is. Jeremy? Because it's a cartoon from fucking 30 years ago. Then that also the show probably trends male because it was a boy cartoon. They specifically had to make a girl version with a girl He-Man. If you recall, you were quite mad about the size of her tits. And furthermore, I think also it's worth pointing out that, like, yeah, there's a lot of negative YouTube comments. Some of that might have to do with the fact that, like, knuckleheads like you were driving up all your fans to go harass everybody involved with the show and downvote it everywhere and review bomb it and shit. Thank you for doing this service so that we don't have to screw up our YouTube recommendations. It's an incognito window, baby.
but it's really bizarre to me. I mean, the reviews are out. Bait and switch is real. Adam will not end up with Tila because they've already made a hero, an ancestor, and now the son of the He-Man show in Tila. He-Man is literally only in the first of 5 episodes. It should be titled Tila and her
Wrong.
First female friends. What a disgrace this show is. Kevin Smith shouldn't be allowed anywhere near anything film related. No, he created Clerks. He should absolutely continue making Clerks. I mean, look at what the production was like on Cop Out, too, if you want to look into other stuff. To Kevin Smith, we won't listen to your excuses. We're going to blame you because you are not you are an accessory, and we will not accept your show as canon. We did not come to give you absolution. There's no way to be.
When the time comes, Kevin Smith, you will not be spared. Kevin Smith, while you partied, I studied the blade. And now that the barbarians are at the gate, you come to me looking for help? Why aren't they talking about the lore of the live-action movie? Fake fans. Also, I love this stream more like these, please. None of these people give a shit about the greater Masters of the Universe lore. This is the closest thing to the 80s cartoon that they've made with Masters of the Universe, by the way. It captures the tone of the 80s cartoon like pretty perfectly. Like they do flashbacks where they do like the same jokey dialogue. Like they're on a boat and he tosses Skeletor overboard and he's like, "You're all wet, Skeletor." You know, like that's how it was on the old cartoon. It feels like exactly like the old cartoon in those flashbacks, except like animated good.
Redeemed. I mean, just absolutely savaged. The Twitter account. You know, if you look at the Twitter account.
Yeah, another place where you would go to get some even-keeled discussion is Twitter, where people are very reasonable.
Just, I mean, 500 likes, 98 comments. I guess that's not the biggest thing. I mean, it's getting a little old. Hate to say it, but it's a horrible show. Saw the potential, but it never came to fruition. I mean, nobody. Where are all these? And now, in part 2, it's an Eva Lynn story instead of He-Man.
Yeah, she's a more interesting character. It's the show sets up a story about Eva Lynn. She has an arc in the first 5 episodes that she then reverses on, and it sets up like a bunch of they get into her backstory a little bit. You see that there's some good in her, and then she relapses into evil. That's more interesting. He-Man's describe He-Man's character. Strong hero. Okay. Why do you need to see more He-Man? He can only do so much. Here's the thing. I would have been mad. If there wasn't like at least one character who held up a sword and said, "By the power of Grayskull." I want to hear someone say, "By the power of Grayskull." I get it. It's the nostalgia. It goes, sure. But He-Man, aside from just being on screen and standing around and occasionally hitting something, he's not a dynamic character. In fact, I think this show does the best job of making him an interesting character because they get into who Adam is, not just who He-Man is, which is interesting. It's interesting how Adam views himself. Like when he goes to the afterlife, he stays Adam and all the other champions are in their champion form. But Adam thinks of himself as Adam, and that says something about him. Have we covered that Clamp Champ was in the teaser and the first episode? I didn't realize Clamp Champ was in the first. My hero, beloved character, the African American role model, Clamp Champ, in the first episode.
So Kevin Smith does a little damage control for part 2 of his Netflix He-Man series, Master of the Universe Revelation, as instead of spinning complete BS, he comes out and offers part 2 will be an Eva Lynn story, which follows part 1 being all about Tila, and teases the sequel, including that He-Man is alive. Netflix posted a video to its social media and YouTube accounts with Masters of the Universe Revelation ending explained with Kevin Smith, where he teased what's to come in part 2. I mean, I like it. because we're going to get to dunk on that a second time. Worth a mention.
I'm only gonna watch it to make fun of it. That's like, fucking just don't watch the show. If you don't like it, just don't watch it. Watch something else that you do like. There's so many TV shows, dude.
The video has 5.6 thousand dislikes to 1.3 thousand likes. And this time around,
no.
Smith admits Eva Lynn will be a focus of part 2, another strong female independent woman who don't need no man. Now, obviously, Eva Lynn is a strong character. Now, if Smith would have...
That's interesting. That he seems to have missed the point of this character pretty hard. Because... In the first 5 episodes, Eva Lynn's arc is about like coming to grips with the fact that she spent most of her best years in servitude to Skeletor instead of trying to get power on her own and coming into her own power, and how much she regretted that. But then when the first time that Skeletor comes back, she immediately flips and she's like, that's easier. That's an easier route to power. So I'm going to go for that. And the consequences of that decision are more interesting than like, is He-Man going to pick up the big sword and do a good punch on the skeleton? Will He-Man punch the skeleton? If He-Man doesn't punch the skeleton, how are they going to defeat the skeleton? Being upset that an intentional cliffhanger doesn't fully resolve the show the way they'd like is top tier tomfoolery. The thing is, they just assume the ending. They assume the show makes it pretty clear that it's meant to be up in the air whether or not He-Man is alive, right? He's like on the ground with like a spear through his gut, and he's like writhing and going like, So the point is, like, he could be dying, or they might like do some magic and save him. I thought that was pretty clear. And I thought the fact that they made that a cliffhanger suggested that he wouldn't die. Because if he was gonna die, they wouldn't do that in the beginning of episode 6. They do that at the ending of episode 5. Kevin Smith made Dogma a next chapter to the Bible. Those fans also didn't accept it as canon. Compared to religious fanatics, he fans are nothing. No, but they didn't silence him on Twitter. When he released Dogma, he was tweeting about it the next day.
Have been up front with fans about part 1 and Tila and changed a few things around here or there and didn't attack the fans, I'm guessing fans wouldn't be as upset as they are. I don't know. I'm pretty sure they would be. This is via Cosmic Book News, by the way. I'm fairly certain.
Pretty sure they'd be mad at no matter what happened. I kind of agree with you there, Jeremy.
Fans, expecting to see He-Man, having He-Man be made the fool and the butt of the jokes and barely...
When? The first episode, He-Man like heroically saves the day and like gives up his own life to save Eternia. And then when he's in heaven, heroically makes the decision to leave, knowing that now he has no afterlife, simply to do the right thing. He has never made the butt of jokes. There are jokes like, oh, he makes cheesy one-liners. He hasn't made the butt of jokes. He's presented as like the biggest, strongest guy, and everyone's fucked because he's not around.
Really appear in He-Man's own show. I think people would probably still be pretty mad. I do think Kevin Smith directly lying about it is probably not a great. That's a multiplier, I'm guessing. Kevin Smith does make mention of how both Tila and Eva Lynn are in the shadow of male characters. So just like part 1, there are no strong male characters, it's probably safe to assume part 2 will be more of the same.
Yeah, there was no strong guys in the show. They didn't have any. There weren't any big strong boys in the show. The whole show I was watching it, I'm like, where are the boys? How come all of the boys are such wimps? Like the fact that they had Orko do like a big badass maneuver should tell you that this show doesn't like skimp on giving the male characters things to do. What exactly did Kevin Smith lie about? He said that it wasn't going to be like, oh, it's He-Man's story. It's but of course he did, Because if he said anything else, it completely spoils the surprise in the first episode. It's like you have to lie in order to preserve that dramatic beat, so that nobody would expect He-Man to die in the first episode. Why is this guy mad about Silent Bob being silent? He's not mad about that. He's mad that there was a lady in a cartoon.
We mirror Teela's journey with Evil Lynn's journey as well, said Smith about part 1. You're talking about two women who have been in the shadows of very powerful male characters since the inception of the franchise. Awesome. Thank you for writing this wrong, Kevin Smith. I definitely didn't want to see...
It's wrong. It's objectively wrong. Everyone knows that you have the skeleton be the focus. Not the skeleton's girlfriend. That's wrong.
He-Man destroying Skeletor. I'm glad that you've righted this wrong. I mean, that's exactly what he's doing here, right? In his own...
That's what the show should have been about. It should have been a straight line, just He-Man slowly walking towards Skeletor, and when he got there, he hits him with his big sword and he kills him. Why is Kevin Smith writing this in such a way to get in He-Man's way of stopping the bad skeleton? The show is so bad because He-Man doesn't even stop the skeleton. Do you want the skeleton to win? That's wrong.
Mind. And Teela, fought by the side of He-Man, definitely more of his equal. Evil Lynn, though, as was always Skeletor's subservient. What happens in a world where the person that helps identify the character, in the case of Teela, He-Man, in the case of Evil Lynn, Skeletor, what happens when those two figures are removed from their lives? Who do they get to be?
Pretty interesting question, don't you think? Sounds like that could make for a compelling story more so than the strongman punching the skeleton, don't you think? Don't you think that sounds like a better show than just what if a big strong boy punched the skeleton, don't you think, a little bit?
Nobody cares. Nobody cares, Kevin.
I do. I care. It actually sounds pretty neat. Evil Lynn was the best character in the first 5 episodes, and Lena Headey played the shit out of that character. Like, this is the best news you could have given me about the second part. So I care. I care, Jeremy.
Nobody cares. You get that? Nobody cares. Now, you want to give Evil Lynn a little bit more clout, a little more shine in the show? I think everyone would appreciate that. You want to develop her character a little bit more? Sure.
They did.
But the fact that part 2 is going to be about another female character where He-Man and Skeletor are going to be on the backseat, I'm sure everyone's going to love that. I'm sure.
They took out my favorite toys and replaced them with girls. That's so awful. Why would nobody cares about girls? I want to see big strong boys. Big strong boys and big strong skeletons.
Sure that the Rotten Tomato scores are going to just skyrocket. Right there, Kevin gives an actual synopsis of the series, that what happens to Teela in part 1 and Evil Lynn part 2 when He-Man and Skeletor are removed. And the Masters of the Universe revelation was never going to be about He-Man, and it was all bait and switch. Also, we're called...
Yeah, that's literally the only thing that makes the show interesting. That is the entire... It's like... If it was just more of the 80s show, why do you need that? It was never good. They took it in a new narrative direction where they're like, what happens if this conflict ends? What happens if that after these two characters are done fighting, they're not there anymore, and the rest of the world can get developed? That was always the thing that sucked about the show, was you had all these colorful characters and they never got to do anything. They'd be in one episode that was about them and they'd all be exactly the same, either good or evil. And so this show gives them all something to do because they can step out of the shadow of the only two characters that every other adaptation focused on, and still manages to make those two characters more interesting than they've ever been in those shows.
1, Evil Lynn had cringeworthy conversation about men with Teela and Andrea. Then at the end of episode 5, the quote subservient Evil Lynn went back with Skeletor, so we can see where all this is going.
I didn't think that conversation was cringeworthy. I thought there was a bit of dramatic irony in it, in that she's telling Andrea, don't follow dangerous men, and Andrea's looking at Teela like, does she know I'm gay? Does she not know I'm gay though? That's the joke of that scene, Jeremy. It's Andrea turning to Teal and going, "Get a load of her."
Yeah, right. And as we see in the first 5 episodes, there's goodness in Evil Lynn, as Orko points out, Smith added. But the next 5 episodes, kids, it shifts into Evil Lynn's story that is so compelling, absolutely fascinating, satisfying, heartbreaking. It became my favorite part of Masters of the Universe Revelation. I thought your favorite part of this was destroying a franchise. It's like...
Fucking got him. Damn. There's no coming back from that, Kevin. Damn. Actually, I think your favorite part was that the show wasn't very good. Wow. But her name is Evil Lynn, and there's good in her. Wow, show literally unwatchable. They address this in the show, actually. Which is the one thing I've always wanted to know about Evil Lynn that they finally answered. And this is the biggest spoiler of the show as far as I'm concerned. I always wanted to know whether her name was Evil Lynn and as a coincidence she grew up to be evil, or whether her name was Lynn and she added the prefix evil once she became evil, or if she had the name Evil Lynn before, did that drive her to evil? The expectation that she would become evil is what drove her to become evil. And the show answered it. It's that her name was Lynn and she added evil to it. Her parents didn't name her Evil Lynn. I thought that was satisfying.
Kevin Smith wrote Masters of the Universe Revelation to get laid. That's how it feels.
Oh yeah, Kevin Smith was drowning in puss after he wrote Masters of the Universe Revelation. That's what women want, man. Like if you tell a girl that you're really into He-Man, she will be dropping panties like you wouldn't believe. Like, holy shit, dude, listen to yourself. Kevin Smith only wrote this show to get lit. It's gotten to a point where it can't even be like Kevin Smith is a bad writer. Kevin Smith believes this shit. Kevin Smith has all these bad ideas. Kevin Smith did such a bad job. It has to be like Kevin Smith made this cartoon so that he could show women and they would fuck him. Because the cartoon has more women in it. What other reason could you have to put females in your cartoon? It doesn't make any sense.
Feels like to me, right? It feels like he wrote this to like get brownie points with women.
This is a serious question. Is Jeremy an involuntary celibate? Bad news. Jeremy's married. Pretty sure he's got kids, actually.
In Hollywood, it's like, hey, everyone's excited about a He-Man show, but here's what I'm really gonna do. I'm gonna make it all about the women, and then those stupid neckbeards are gonna get so angry. It's gonna be awesome.
And it clearly worked. If that was his plan, slam dunk. You 100% no notes. You fucking nailed it, dude.
And then he goes to his little Hollywood hangouts and he talks about how he himself righted the wrongs of history and empowered 2 strong, independent women who don't need no man in his Masters of the Universe show. I still suspect that Netflix told him.
So in Jeremy's mind, at this chic Hollywood nightclubs, Kevin Smith walks in wearing an oversized blazer, big denim shorts, and like fuck, there's like a supermodel sitting at the bar sipping her martini, and he walks up and he's like, I made a very feminist He-Man cartoon, and she's just like, tell me more.
To stop antagonizing the fans, and I think he's listening, because right now there's absolutely no information around season 2, and as far as I can
but it's also probably because like you market the show before it comes out, and then you would probably wait until there's going to be more of it released, or you have a reason to push it after that. It's just kind of how promoting things works.
How it wasn't billed as a one-off, so I'm guessing that season 2 is probably in doubt. I'm gonna guess that Netflix won't say that this was a huge hit, and I'm good.
So just let's take a look at the title. Netflix silences Kevin Smith on Masters of the Universe. He doesn't know that. He says so in the video. Revelation as season 2 in doubt. He doesn't know season 2 is in doubt. He doesn't know any of this. He's guessing.
I'm guessing that the numbers aren't as good as Kevin Smith said. Now, obviously, I could be absolutely wrong. I have underestimated people's willingness to watch trash on Netflix significantly in the past. Some of the shows I see on trending, which I'm sure are hand curated, are beyond terrible, but yet they're there anyway.
What diagram that sentence up? I've underestimated people's ability to watch trash. There were some truly bad shows on trending that it must have been handpicked. So you didn't underestimate people's ability to watch trash? You can't keep a sentence straight.
Never underestimate people putting stuff on in the background, and that's a possibility. But right now, there's absolutely no information about season 2. I'm not sure that it'll ever happen, and I couldn't be happier if that were the case. I hope you enjoyed this video.
God damn. Can I just say, what an incredible waste of time. Imagine you're a fan of Jeremy. You like his videos. You tune in every day to hear what he has to say about all of the cartoons and why you should be mad about them. And you see this headline, Netflix silences Kevin Smith on Masters of the Universe, Revelation is season 2 in doubt. And you think, here we go. It's some news about this cartoon I hate that Jeremy keeps telling me is really bad and I haven't watched. And then you watch the video and it's just him going, yeah, maybe Netflix told him to shut up. Maybe there's not going to be a season 2. Imagine how ripped off you must feel. I have to pee. I will be right back. I'm back. I peed. I peed freely. Okay. I only have one more on my list. People have suggested a few fun ones. Hey, Fave Slime, hope having a bad night, so wanted to send some of the money and love your way. Hope you're well and have a good weekend. I will have a good... Well, I probably won't have a good weekend because I have a bunch of videos to make before I can go to vacation. Then I'm going to vacation, so there's not going to be a stream next week, which is why I'm doing a special fun stream today. Little treat for the real fans. You know? Should I drink my soda like Lord of Patriarchy drinks his? That's how he drinks it. Got him. Fucking nailed him. What's my vacation entail? I'm not telling you that. I'm not telling you shit about my vacation. You're gonna show up there, protest me. I'm not telling you that. That's gonna be all flat now? That's fine. Still tastes sweet, baby. All right, this one's very special to me because there's a very special guest. I don't know if I want to reveal who the special guest is, but it's old time Goo Crew gonna get a real kick out of this one. This video is called She-Man. I see what you did there. And the Masters of Woke, Kevin Smith is a Liar, featuring, I'm not going to say who just yet. But let's go ahead and update the woke counter. I think we're going to get some wokes out of this bad boy, in my opinion. It's She-Man and the Masters of Woke. Really brainstormed that one out. Poonaverse. I don't get it. I already got this woke. We don't need to add this to the woke counter. I don't get this joke. I don't get what's happening.
Nerderotic.com.
Everything is going to get woke at some point.
Strong start. Strong start. Who we got on the panel? We got Nerdrotic, Heels v Babyface. This is one of the person I was told to watch. D-Day Cobra. You gotta have D-Day Cobra. Ryan Cannell from RK Outpost. Big fan. Love him. Love his stuff. Weed Lord. Odin of OMB Reviews. And Black Garrett. This is from Friday Night Tights on June 11th, 2021 also. I don't know if I mentioned that. Here's 20 bucks for just for being you. I do it all the time.
Point. Even when it starts out good, and like He-Man, we're learning with He-Man. You know, you see that trailer and it looks awesome. It hooks you, just like they tried to do with The Last of Us Part 2, which I mentioned earlier. They tried to hook it.
Like, I know nothing about He-Man, guys. So sorry. Like, when He-Man was a cartoon, I was a little older. I wasn't into it because I don't know if I want to say my excuse from back in the day was I always thought it looked a little. So
he's the host and it's his channel and he never watched the fucking cartoon they're complaining about. Just wow.
When I was really young, I followed He-Man a little bit, but I was more into G.I. Joe, Silverhawks, and Transformers, and Thundercats than I was
me too.
He-Man. I did have He-Man action figures, you know, Man-at-Arms, Skeletor, you know, He-Man himself, and Battle Cat. Yeah. But, I mean, I wasn't...
If you didn't even like the show, why do you care at all? Who cares?
Such a fan, so even with the new He-Man toys that are in stores, I haven't bought any of them, even though they look cool and there's a lot of nostalgia when I see those on the shelves. With He-Man,
Batman,
that's pretty fucking cool.
That is cool, actually.
No, but I understand, like, this is a childhood property, and he's called He-Man.
They, them.
Well, Themra.
Caesar, man.
It was going to be, no, it's Themra, and Theyra. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what they're going to do is, because you can't say he or him on TV anymore. He's not woke enough to say that anymore. You got to say they. This made-up word that I've never heard until the woke started saying it. They? What does that even mean? He-Man was always woke. The guy who wrote the first episode and many more developed Captain Planet. I don't know if He-Man was necessarily a woke program. I think it was just a cartoon designed to sell toys. This guy wants to end his life. He's miming that he wants to be out of this world and dead, because what they're gonna do is they're gonna call him them man. Just kill me now.
No, so is it a bait and switch? Right. Is that whole trailer from the first episode, and we're not going to see He-Man for the rest of it?
Yeah. Okay. Teela's in her fighting outfit, and she gets out of it. She puts on the hide and Matitza top, and then goes off to wander the world with a girlfriend.
What the fuck is this?
They know they can't market it with the identity politics. They have to market it to the toxic crowd, just like what they did Last of Us 2. They literally invented a scene.
So like... If nobody would like the woke direction in the identity politics they're going with, why wouldn't they just make the toxic show that everybody would like and would make them a lot of money? Which is it? That they're doing this because they're mercenary and they don't believe any of this shit? Or is it that they're so ideologically committed to this pure nonsense that you've imagined that they will deliberately self-sabotage and do something that will lose them a bunch of money just to pursue this agenda? Like, which is it?
With Joel that didn't exist just so they can book people because they're pieces of shit. Fuck Naughty Dog, by the way.
Fuck Naughty Dog.
But I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I thought they would put the sad man in the video game, but they didn't. They just had the girl who looks like Elliot Page, but she's not Elliot Page.
What they're gonna do with this. What I do know is Kevin Smith will cry. I know that much.
He already has.
Yeah, and I say that as someone that really loves like old school Kevin Smith, man. Like Clerks 1 and 2, Chasing Amy, Dogma, Mallrats.
The real thing with the He-Man.
Clerks 2 is not old school Kevin Smith, and it's not a good movie. You have bad taste.
Man story is the bait and switch and the lies from Kevin Smith. Not only.
You know what I love about the geek crew here? The nerd crew. What is it from Red Letter Media? That's exactly what this is, by the way. They are like a non-ironic, the nerd crew from Red Letter Media. Is that as it goes on, you can hear them trying to sound manlier than manlier. Well, yeah, it's what He-Man was always about. Like, listen to the way that they're speaking. They're projecting so loud. It's incredible. They're just trying to talk over each other.
Only the lies about the show itself, but lying about being a fan. And Gary just told you is completely upfront. He's like, listen, I'm not really into He-Man. But when you have people like Kevin Smith, who in 2010 tweeted out, I was never a He-Man fan.
Yeah.
And then in 2020 is saying, I'm a massive He-Man fan. I love Masters of the Universe.
Yeah, it's probably, that wasn't, they probably didn't do that to like trick you. Probably it's because, the people who are making the show, the people who are putting up the money, gave him a bunch of money and they said, okay, you got to pretend like you're really into the show for the marketing. And he's like, cool, no problem.
And then he got into this spat with Clownfish TV.
By the way, Clownfish TV was right. And hail Clownfish TV, great channel.
No,
Go check them out.
Almost all of his predictions were wrong. We just watched this video where he said a bunch of stuff that was wrong. He said that they would make Hero black. They didn't. He said that King Grayskull would be Adam's ancestor. He wasn't. They said that Teela would get the power sword and become He-Man. She didn't.
So
he said that He-Man... no, he didn't say that. Was
on
Jeremy.
March 10th of 2020. Clownfish TV tweeted out, my understanding of Kevin Smith's He-Man series from an alleged insider. Teela is a better He-Man than Adam, and he steps aside to let her and her girlfriend take over hero duties. If true, this won't play well. Now, to be clear, there's no indication yet of her and her girlfriend, and also what it seems like to me is that probably like He-Man got defeated and is gone. That's kind of what I think it looks like to me.
Yeah.
One major difference is that
So they haven't seen the show. It seems like they're saying Clownfish TV was right about everything. Probably what's going to happen in the show is that, so they haven't seen the show, but they know that he was right about everything. about the show that they haven't seen. He-Man didn't get defeated and fuck off. He defeated Skeletor in a Pyrrhic victory that he then had to sacrifice himself to save the realm in this big, heroic, grand gesture, a capstone on his career of heroism, and then is immediately brought to heaven and hailed as a hero, and then chooses to give that up in a further heroic sacrifice to come back. So, nah, it's not what happened. Bless this video, though, for saving us from all those people making 7 identical versions of the same video. Guaranteed they all did, with the possible exception of Weedlord. Weedlord probably didn't, but all the rest of them I guarantee did. He-Man show where everyone is so manly that everyone is buff men and everyone is in love with each other because only men can love men. Yeah, that's a very Roman attitude. That's how they should do it. And they all wrestle naked. How hard is it to watch the damn show? I mean, it's a little hard. It's probably a lot of big words they don't understand.
So He-Man will certainly be around. He won't be the main protagonist anymore. Instead, the focus will be on Teela. Kevin Smith says, with all due respect, I've read every script and wrote a few and viewed 4 amazing animatics. While Teela is present as she's always been, our series is literally all about He-Man.
Oh, okay. All about He-Man. That is a key word right there.
Yeah.
About He-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Fast forward to the...
It's while he's not like the protagonist, the series is all about like events that he set in motion and reflecting on his absence. So it's still true. I go by they man now. I love you, Scaredy Cat. Thanks for letting me know. Is that what Skeletor says in the meme? Isn't that what Skeletor says in the meme? Thanks for letting me know.
Synopsis. Steve Wainart tweeted this out. It says this: the war for Eternia culminates in Masters of the Universe Revelation. Innovative and action-packed animated series picks up where the iconic characters left off. After a cataclysmic battle between He-Man and Skeletor, Eternia is fractured and the Guardians of Grayskull are scattered. And after decades of secrets tore them apart, it's up to Teela to reunite the broken band of heroes and solve the mystery of the missing Sword of Power in a race against time to restore Eternia and prevent the end of the universe. What the fuck? Now, when you watch that trailer, looks nothing like this synopsis. When you watch that trailer, it looks really cool.
Yeah, how come the trailer didn't give away everything that's going to happen on the show? How come in the trailer they didn't show the results of everything that happened in the first episode and show all the big surprises? They're really trying to get me. Nice try, Netflix.
Cool, and I think a lot of people dug it. Looks fucking badass, but it's also very focused on He-Man. That's not what this series is. And they know it. That's the fucked up part. They know it. That's why the trailer is that way. The trailer is that way to get everyone sucked into it, to make you think that it's something that you want. And then they're going to fucking...
They make you think that your favorite toy is going to be on the show, but when you actually watch the show, it's a girl. My toy isn't on it. They're tricking me.
Holy old switcheroo, and it's going to be about Teela.
Yep.
The sad fact is that it's been portrayed as a really good He-Man show. The animation looks fucking outstanding.
Yeah, it does, man.
He-Man looks incredible. Skeletor looks great. They all look so good.
Yeah.
Why don't you just make a good He-Man series then?
They did. It's the only good one. So that the 2002 one was pretty good, and it's like exactly the same as the 1980s one except updated. So like, just go watch that.
Yep. As you brought it up, and I'm going to do my first essay video, which is going to be about a short story in The Witcher, comparing it to the first episode of Witcher Season 1. And I think it's a great example of you did unnecessary shit for intersectional feminism when you could have just left everything alone, and you still would have had, and I hate this term, by the way, strong female characters.
And it's just... Why did he say it like that? It's like fucking... Go watch Curio's video about The Witcher. She did a whole series on The Witcher, and I don't remember exactly which one it was where she talked about this, but those books are all about abortion. Like, it comes up constantly in those books that, like, how heavily pro-abortion the author is. Like, they are intersectional feminist books. The whole Witcher series is about racism and, like, how structures of racism affect people. the whole concept of a Witcher is someone who's been made less than human by their association with other races.
It's the witch her now.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Well played, sir.
Coin.
So what they're doing is
I just noticed for the first time that there's a girl on the panel. She hasn't said a word in this video. She's just sitting there. That's incredible. There's no greater metaphor for what is happening than that. You couldn't have done it better if you tried.
This is part of the Me Too Time's Up era, and they know they couldn't just do a Tila show. Henry,
there's nothing wrong with having Tila-focused episode.
No, there's nothing wrong with having a Tila-focused show. Just have a show and then do
Then why are you so mad about it?
He-Man show, but see, they're full of shit. They're the ones who don't fucking believe it. And like Loki, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen in Loki, but those trailers, that was all pretty much everything was from first episode. Now that's pretty normal, but first time I saw a big bait and switch was Iron Fist season 2. Season 2, he literally hands his powers over to Colin Wing. Oh, no, what's worse? Sorry, what's worse? Watchmen, Dr. Manhattan leaves to go become a god, and then he decides to come back because Regina King's character was so extraordinary that he came back.
So if he goes by they, them, I'm pretty sure. She, they, actually. You think I don't know Curio's pronouns? You think I'm out here talking about Curio? I don't know Curio's pronouns? Don't test me. Why couldn't they just make Dr. Manhattan the incredible cool badass that he is in the comics, like how he's always so cool? But in this show, he comes back because he falls in love with a woman. Gross. Just that's not what the character would do. He would use his cool powers to do cool stuff, like how he was a big monster evaporating Viet Cong in that scene. How cool that was. And how you're supposed to watch that scene and go, oh, how cool. What a cool guy, because he's so strong. It's good that he's that strong.
From godhood to fall in love, which had already been established he couldn't fall in love anymore. He turned himself into a black guy and then handed his powers to her through an egg. Literally.
No, he got killed. He got killed. And so as a backup plan, he gave his powers to her. He didn't choose to do that. He was going to die. As soon as I finished episode 1, my simultaneous thoughts were, oh, this slaps and the man babies are going to be so mad. Yeah, you called it. I mean, it's not difficult to predict.
Handed his balls to her at the end of the show. And then
wait, does this guy think balls are eggs? Does this guy think egg is balls? Does he think you got 2 little eggs in your scrot? Is that what this person thinks? He thinks eggs are balls? Is that what this man thinks? Does he think eggs are balls?
Then died. I mean, like, wow. that's symbolism you can't make up.
I used to watch He-Man in the...
Yeah, you totally... Like, I'll be honest, I went back and rewatched my my Watchmen video, and I'm like, don't know about that, Chief. Don't know about your take there. I feel like you kind of overstated your case. But I feel like I got it better than he did. I'll say that.
But Tila was always a really cool fucking character in the show. And we always liked Tila because it was like the 3 main were He-Man / Prince Adam, Duncan / Man-at-Arms, and Tila. They were the 3 main hero protagonists in the show. You know, she was always there. She was always involved.
So it kind of sounds like if you were going to make a show that examined what happened without like the big strong hero guy that everybody relies on, she would be the natural choice to be the hero, is what you're saying. Because Duncan's old, and He-Man is the hero in question that you're trying to take out to see how everybody reacts. So she's kind of the natural choice, and it isn't just because they wanted to make women more powerful than men in cartoon.
She didn't know that Adam was He-Man, but that was meant to be the thing, of course.
He-Man is awesome, too, because the power that everyone got their power from was from Castle Grayskull. And whoever controlled it is really who had the power. So it could be evil, it could be good, but it was the same power source. So it's kind of cool if you take a step back and look at what that is. It's pretty amazing. Like anyone could have power, anyone could use it for good or evil.
But the thing that they are specifically complaining about is it's not the right guy using that power. So, and also I love that he's just stating the premise of the show. Like, what's cool about it is that he gets his powers from the magic sword. And that's pretty incredible if you think about it, that the magic sword makes him a big, strong boy. And that the skeleton wants to get the sword so he can be a big, strong boy. Either a good or evil boy can get the sword. A girl can't get the sword. That's not cool. A boy getting the sword is cool. Do a video on Nerdrotic, please. He's literally the biggest dick. He's getting worse than the quartering. Yeah, I don't know. He seems like a small enough channel. I don't really... I mean, I'm putting him on blast right now, but he's with 6 other people.
Castle Grayskull playset was fucking awesome. I remember that thing was awesome.
Yeah, He-Man had one of the best villains galleries around. That's why I think he was so cool to me as a kid. The villains gallery was just so good with all the different types of toys that you could get. You wanted fucking Lockjaw, giving blowjobs, I think. I'm beginning to see the homoeroticism now. Okay. It seems now we can't have one without the other. It seems it has to be black or white. It's so binary nowadays. We can't have a strong man and a competent woman to be alongside them. We have
except that in the show there is. Except that's literally what happens on the show. He is a big, strong man, and she is a competent woman on the television show that you're currently complaining about. They do that on that show. So there is that on the show.
Have to have a strong woman and a fucking cock. The balance is just completely evaporated.
I personally want to see a show with...
Like, the projection here is surreal. The idea that, like, actually what's happening in the... It's not that I feel powerless in the world. It's not that I feel like my power is being taken away and my identity as, like, king shit... being the best guy and being treated like I'm better than everybody else just for existing, and I feel like that's being taken away and I have nothing else. That's not what's happening here. What's happening is they made He-Man weak, is the thing. I don't feel weak. I'm still very strong, and I've got lots of other stuff going for me. It doesn't matter if they take away men's position of being the most important and the strongest. I have other stuff going on aside from being a dude. But what they're doing is they're hurting He-Man, my friend, and one of my favorite toys.
A cuck and a completely incompetent woman. That's really the kind of content I'm looking for.
That's cool.
She's the girl. The only girl in the chat is muted. Everyone else has their mics on. She is muted. It's incredible.
That's Batwoman. Yeah, I was gonna say. They got that show.
That show's up there, dude. It's right there.
If you like what I do here, please consider subscribing to the channel and
Absolutely.
liking and sharing the videos. It really does help. And
Absolutely. You have so many toys on your wall. How could I not listen to you? You're clearly a well-adjusted man. The Heels v Babyface video to do is called Kevin Smith is a Liar. He-Man is the Telia show. Did he spell it Telia? All right, let's get this fool. Let's get him. Heels v Babyface. He-Man. This is the guy that sounds like Sargon, by the way. Kevin Smith is a liar. He does say Telia. And her girlfriend. This one's got 91,000 views. So it's got to be a good video. Oh, that's badass.
Hi everyone, it's Az here from Heel vs. Babyface.
If a cis woman gets the power, do their bodies become male? No, I think they would just get big and strong. Like She-Ra doesn't become a cis male when she gets the power. They would just get big and strong, I think, is what would happen. And then these guys would be like, she looks like a man because of her big, strong muscles, and I'm confused by it. I don't like it. It makes me feel feelings that I've never felt before, and I don't like the way it makes me feel. And I wish the boys were back on the screen.
Finally, as they like to say, it's my turn to talk about Masters of the Universe Revelation.
Mom said it's my turn to talk about He-Man. Mom said I could talk about He-Man now.
Wanted to do videos like everyone else had been doing videos on it, but I decided, and this is just a personal decision, that I would rather give Kevin Smith as much rope as he wanted. I would rather just keep quiet. And
he's a chess master. I see. Many people were quick to pounce on Kevin Smith, but I simply stood back. I knew that given enough time, he would ensnare himself in my trap. Well played. Well played, Healy v. Babyface.
And then wait for the series to come out so I could watch it in its proper context. And in that time, see whether or not Kevin Smith was getting himself some more rope to hang himself with. That's the only reason. Because I do believe
Yes, it was actually a bold tactical decision to wait until the show was released so that then I could watch it and have opinions on it. This was all part of my master plan, and finally it has come to fruition. You've fallen into my web, Kevin Smith. You've released your television show so that I might watch it. And now I will share my opinions with the whole world, and there's nothing you can do to stop me.
What Clownfish said at the beginning of it, when I say the beginning, when they received some information about how the storyline was going to go, that Teela was going to be the main character. Prince Adam slash He-Man was no longer going to be worthy, or something was going to happen to him that relinquished the power sword.
It didn't, by the way. He's the only other person that wields the power sword in the show is Skeletor. Teela never wields the power sword in the show. So far, anyway. She might in the future. Who knows? I know this is off topic, but I wanted to thank you for your videos. They helped me realize I'm gender fluid. Nice. The cup of gender fluid, half full, baby.
That Teela was going to get involved with a girlfriend. Obviously, because it's current day.
He couldn't fucking edit that double take out where it looked like he was throwing up because he took a moment to like get his soundboard working. Just the effort on display, the pure effort. Folks, this video is 91,000 views. I've never had a Scaredy Cats video that's had that many views. I am in the wrong side of YouTube, let me tell you.
And Kevin Smith vehemently came out and defended this. No, this is...
Vehemently? Did he just confuse the words vehemently and permanently?
It's not our story. This is not a Teela-centric story. This is a He-Man story. Teela doesn't have a girlfriend in this, and he went.
Whoever said Teela had a girlfriend should shut up. No, she doesn't. No.
Clownfish. Now, if Kevin Smith had been right, fair play. You know, if misleading information's out there. But then a synopsis came out from the actual studio, which was photographed, that talked about how...
the intrigue. Yes, we received a dossier about the show's content.
When a hero, something like when a hero falls in battle, it's up to Teela to save the day, blah, blah, blah. And again, once...
The whole reason that is interesting is because Teela's not as strong as He-Man. That's what makes her an underdog. That's what raises the stakes. It's not a...
They were presented with that information. No, this is not... It is not a Teela-centric... Anywho. Even a couple of days ago, Kevin Smith was still at it. Still at it.
Okay. But I know I've said this a lot tonight. But who cares? What is the complaint here? That do you not like the show because it's bad, or because Kevin Smith lied on Twitter about what it was about? And you've only seen the first 5 episodes, by the way, so he could still be telling the truth. Who knows? But if the show is bad, what does it matter what Kevin Smith said? And if the show is not bad, still, what does it matter? Why does any of it matter? Why does it matter? Can anyone tell me why this matters?
Trying to discredit Clownfish again. And all
yeah, Kevin Smith has been trying to discredit Clown Smith since day one. Kevin Smith is out there every day tearing people down, just trying to get rid of Clownfish TV's reputation as a media journalist. He's always trying to fucking ruin his life, get in there, deny what his cartoon is about to his face in front of his audience of impressionable children. Disgusting behavior as far as I'm concerned.
People who basically called this show, because I have watched all 5 episodes now of He-Man, I should really say Masters of the Universe. The He-Man is very noticeably absent.
Yeah, also it's the title of the show. You'll notice that the word He-Man is not in the title of the show. So yeah, actually you should call it by the title, yes.
Masters of the Universe Revelations. And what have I got to say about it? Well, the first thing I'm going to say about it is the thing that we've said from start to finish, and I think it's the thing that needs a lot of credit, is the animation is spectacular. The animation is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. It's beautiful. It's vibrant. It hits all the right spots. I cannot praise the animation and the animators who put so much hard work into this enough. I
vehemently agree. I think the animation was very good.
Really can't.
It did hit all the right spots.
Now that we've got all the positives out of the way, Kevin Smith, you are a liar!
Is that what?
Sellout, soy-based.
What just happened? Was that part of the actual video, or did my internet glitch out?
Kevin Smith, you are a liar!
That he literally just left in this. What did he say in that period? What did he say that he had to cut out of this video? Because this is the first edit I've seen. What did he say that he's just like, nah. Hey, bud, Premiere Pro, press C, click twice. That's all you got to do to cut a part out of a video.
Sellout, soy-based worm of a liar. This show was shit. For the most part, absolutely shit.
Like, I'm sorry, man, but like, you gotta, like, what? Then why did you watch the whole thing? To just get angrier and angrier and angrier? Like, if you like, if you don't like the cartoon, go watch anything else. There's more He-Man you can watch on Netflix if you want.
It's exactly how Clownfish called it. And I mean exactly how they called it. Number one, this is Teela's show. This has barely got any He-Man / Adam in it. He's in the first episode, and then he makes little cameos in flashbacks in episodes like 2 and 3. And I think he makes...
And then episode 5 is a deep exploration into his character, that the type that the show never did before. And you really get a sense of who he is and what drives him. But other than that, yeah, he's kind of just, off to the side. Also, Teela's whole arc is about her resenting He-Man and all the feelings that came up as a result of feeling like she lived in his shadow. Other than that, yeah, he's not really pertinent to the story at all.
Adam, because they go to heaven, turns up at the end of 4 and then gets killed again in episode 5. So
Nope. Doesn't get killed. Nope.
Whatever. Yeah, spoiler alert,
For a thing that didn't happen.
Yes. Teela does have a girlfriend, and we'll go into that in a moment as well. So first things first. Yes, this is going to be spoilers. Yes, I'm going to go into it. He-Man, the Castle Grayskull's under attack from Skeletor. Sorceress calls He-Man to battle. He-Man fights Skeletor, and Skeletor tricks He-Man, because He-Man's a buffoon, of course. All men are buffoons in this. Well, the men that appear.
No, I think it's that Skeletor is cunning. Skeletor, I think you'll find, also a man, is the thing.
Because there ain't any, by the way.
There's no man on the show other than He-Man. He's the only one. I can't think of any other examples that are on screen at the very second that he's saying this. But yeah, He-Man's probably I think he was the only guy in the show, yeah.
Something to sticking a sword into a hole, ladies, which releases the magic from Grayskull, but it also causes He-Man and Skeletor to blow up. As He-Man's trying to...
This show is for children, and it doesn't seem like he really understood the plot. He seems like he's struggling to understand. The sword made them blow up? I don't know. Something about a sword.
Protect Eternia from blowing up, he rips the power sword into 2, and blah, blah, blah. And in doing so, it reverts him back to Prince Adam, and Teela, for the first time, sees that He-Man and Prince Adam are one in the same. Teela is one of the most
fucking got her. More like Hela, am I right?
Selfish characters I've seen, and it fits perfectly. By the way, Kevin, it fits because this is how females are now written. It's all about them, and they're all selfish and they're all narcissists. Because when they go back,
Teela's a narcissist, says the guy making this video about how they didn't make the cartoon the way that he wanted it. She's so selfish, and I didn't get my favorite toy on TV.
To unfortunately for them, give the news that Adam/He-Man is dead. Where his mother bursts into tears because she knew that he was He-Man. Teela, when people are mourning the death of Prince Adam/He-Man, the savior of Eternia, Teela takes it upon herself to make it all about her.
Well, I think it's actually pretty reasonable that when she discovers that her best friend and like her battle partner, the guy that she's gone into all these fights with for all these years, are the same person, and everybody knew but her, and everybody kept the secret from her deliberately, and then also one of the two parents like calls out her dad and like banishes him from the kingdom, I can kind of understand actually how tensions might ride high in that moment.
And she starts whinging about, how do you think I feel? All of you people keeping a secret from me. How do you think I feel? Bitch! Her son's just died. The savior of Eternia has just died, and you're bitching about yourself?
Yeah, it's that's completely unreasonable. It's completely unreasonable to feel betrayed when you find out that your best friend has been lying to you for years about the most important thing in his life. But what's reasonable is to get really mad about a cartoon and complain about that. That's normal. But if you're mad that the most important thing happening in your best friend's life, and like something that you actually should know because you trust two forms of him with your life constantly, if they hold out from you, why are you so mad? It's not like they put a girl in your favorite cartoon. I don't understand. What's the problem?
About, why wasn't I told it was He-Man? Oh my God, you're just so disrespectful to me. So that's when she throws in her circlet, which we see in the trailer. She's like, I'm out. I want nothing more to do with you because this is the me show. Duncan. Oh yeah, and she's man-at-arms, by the way. They hand over man-at-arms from Duncan to her.
For like 10 minutes. And she's been training her whole life for it. It isn't just... It's not just because she's so amazing. It's because her father was the previous man-at-arms, and he's been grooming her for her whole life to take that position.
At the beginning. Duncan is banished by He-Man's father.
Kind of demonstrates, don't you think, that the king and queen are corrupt? And it kind of demonstrates why Teela wanted to leave in that moment? How their leadership is fallible and how she didn't want to serve them anymore?
Or Adam's father, and he's told if he ever turns up again, he's going to be executed, blah, blah, blah. Anyway. So, the next time, in episode 2, because that's basically episode 1, in episode 2, we now see the new improved Teela. And by the new improved Teela, she's turned into a man and is now a lesbian. Well, not...
Pick a lane, bud.
That a man can be a lesbian. Oh, actually has... Shut up. She's suddenly Butch Cassidy. She's wearing her,
Why women have muscles? Why couldn't she have the realistic proportions that this show is known for? Why couldn't she just look normal and well-proportioned and like a realistic character? Like He-Man does. Like how He-Man looks exactly like how a human would look in real life. How that's just right there. That's what's, you know? Suddenly they're making every character in the show so muscular. I don't understand. I don't get it. Why women have muscle? I want boy on cartoon.
Her anti-male gaze vest to make sure that...
Did they actually make Teela a lesbian? I would say she's bisexual because I think it is strongly implied also that she had strong feelings for Adam, but she does have a girlfriend on the show, yes.
That she looks like just a plank of fucking wood, you know, because you...
Let's see this this plank of wood that we should be so disgusted by. You can't even tell she's a woman. That's just a boy. What? It's just a boy. Why is girl boy? Why is girl boy? Girl has muscle. Boy should have muscle, not girl. They didn't even put Clam Champ in the show. And Kevin Smith lied about it. He tweeted that they'd put Clam Champ in the show, but they didn't.
You can't have your females looking attractive in these things. No. Because Soy Smith
fucking got him. And that's clever wordplay because his name's Kevin Smith, but he changed it to Soy because Kevin Smith is so weak. Such a weak little baby. Not the perfect male specimen like Heels versus Babyface.
And that boy is now a worm, a shill of Hollywood. She's got a shaved head. She's got a flip over. Sarah Michelle Gellar's voice does not. I was gonna say doesn't fit her, but it fits this version of Tila.
Tila, let's be real here. Tila looks badass in this show. It is a complete improvement over the old design. She looks better in every way. Tila fucking owns on this show. You're out of your mind.
Shrill and awful. And she's got her...
So wait, Sarah Michelle Gellar's voice is shrill? Sarah Michelle Gellar has a very deep voice.
Her little black companion with her. You know, I say that flippantly, and I do that flippantly because we all know that they probably said, yeah, okay, we need to tick a box for this one. So let's just tick that one.
Yeah, because why else would you have a black character on a TV show? Because if the character had been white, then you could just assume that's normal. White is the normal way to be. But if they're black, they're probably doing it to tick a box. That makes sense. You can just assume that. You can safely assume that. There's no reason to have a black person on a TV show. It's not believable. It's not believable that this fantasy world would have black people in it. No, they just did that to tick a box.
And as regards to Tila having her as a girlfriend, they are absolutely together. And if Kevin Smith wants to debate they're not, then he is a queer baiting piece of filth.
He wrote it. He wrote the show. He knows the real answer is the thing. Like if you he knows whether or not the characters that he wrote are in a relationship better than you do. I agree that they are, definitely. But probably the reason it's not confirmed in the show isn't because Kevin Smith wanted to queerbait people. It's probably because Netflix got squirrely about it.
Because she has a talk with an old woman about... this old woman's like, why do you go around Eternia, you know, claiming relics back for people and all this kind of stuff? Because that's what she's doing now. She's now Indiana Jones.
How famously boring character Indiana Jones. Ho-hum. Oh, you're telling me she's just going to go around in this action cartoon having adventures in exotic locations? Ugh, give me a break.
And the Temple of Don't.
Oh, fuck. Where does he get this stuff?
She's just like, because I believe in fighting for people. And then she looks at her female partner, and her female partner looks at her, and they're just like, doughy-eyed together. Because they're gay!
Why would they have two characters be in love in the TV show? It doesn't make any sense that two characters would love each other. Why would they have the characters love each other? It's a plot hole, if you ask me.
Because that's how they were written. Or are you queer baiting, Kevin? Because that's not how normal people look at each other when they...
Yeah, it is. If they love each other, you look at yeah, it is. I understand how having never known love, you might not know this, but when you love someone, sometimes you do look at them and smile. Actually, yeah, that's a real thing people do.
We talk about these things. Jesus Christ! And then straight afterwards, she's offered a job. She doesn't want to take it. Her friend wants to take it. Her friend says, "I'm going to take it." Then you can do some other stuff. I'm going to take it. Her friend, her girlfriend.
Yeah, we got it.
And then Tila grabs her from behind and hugs her. She's just like, "No, Z's. Wherever you go, Z's, I go, Z's."
Yeah, it's almost like these characters love each other. It's almost like when they love each other, for some reason it inclines them to touch each other or show affection physically. Real weird. It's weird because it's a fantasy show, right? So you kind of let some of that stuff go. Some of these abstract elements, like how someone might hug their girlfriend.
You know, this is a person we've never met before in the show. So from our perspective, no, they're together. It's clear and obvious they're together. But just because they don't say,
hey, why are you presenting this like it's a flaw with the show? That these two characters are dating. What is the problem? He seems to be bouncing between it's a problem that they're gay on the show, but it's also a problem that they don't explicitly state that they're gay. The latter, I would agree with him with. I think the show would be better if they were more explicit about the fact that these two characters are dating, or if they showed them kissing or something like that. And I think beyond that, I think there's a serious conversation to be had about how, as I said earlier in the stream, if there's going to be a queer romance in the show, it's always between women. Male homosexuality is still treated as too dangerous for children's media. And I think that's a shame, especially in a property like He-Man that is famously homoerotic. I think that you could... There's room for that there. Maybe give Man-at-Arms a boyfriend. Why not, you know? But it seems to me like he's kind of... It's weird because his complaint is that they're not being explicit, but he's not stating what his complaint is, really. He's not being explicit about that. He's kind of hedging his bets so that, like, people who are mad that there are lesbians in the show will think he's talking to them, and people that are mad that that it's queer baiting will think that he's talking to them. It's a very strange dance that he's doing.
Well, girlfriend, that doesn't mean they're not together. It's blatant. Clownfish, we're right. Again. Anyway, lots of boring stuff happens, which I really just don't give a toss about. And anyway, they have to go to hell to get one part of the sword and heaven to get the other part of the sword. So they go down to hell and she faces a fear. Yay. Then they go up to heaven.
Also, he didn't mention this part, but her fear is portrayed as He-Man, who he said wasn't in the show at all. Her big fear is He-Man and him appearing to her and saying that he never trusted her, which was why she was so upset about being lied to in the first episode. Remember how we didn't get that? That her greatest fear in life is that she didn't earn the trust and respect of her best friend and partner in arms. It's kind of a major thing in the show.
And Prince Adam's there, and he's a big femme. Hi, I'm Prince Adamsies. Ooh, coochie woochie poochie woochies.
No, Adam is just like a guy. He's just a guy walking around doing dude stuff. Dudes rock. Like he's not at all effeminate in the show. He's got kind of like he's a little twink. Like I'll give you that. He's pretty, but he's not at all flouncy and that's actually I think a mischaracterization because he was in the original cartoon. He was very fey in the original cartoon. He's if anything butcher in the new one.
Hawaii, Adam. And anywho.
And furthermore, if he were just like an effeminate guy, why is that necessarily bad? Like, why is that bad in and of itself? He just states that as though it's self-evident, like, how ridiculous this is. Like, what? You can write a character to be anything.
They have all the grace, the Master He-Men. And they're all various colors, of course, because far left ideology racism. And they're like, Adam.
Yes, the far left ideology that some people are different races than others. The wokelets are out there every day telling you that people have different skin colors when they don't. Everyone is porcelain lily white like this fool. Everybody's the same color. In this fantasy television show, perhaps there would be someone with black or brown skin, but not in real life. It simply doesn't make any sense. It's far left radicalism. It's critical race theory, quite frankly.
Was the only one who came to heaven and didn't accept his big muscular masculine form, and he's sort of like in there in the background going,
Oh my god. Like, the point of that is to show Adam's strength of character, that he doesn't need to make a big show about how he's the big strong, that he chose to be Adam rather than He-Man, that that's how he sees himself, that he doesn't place a value as much on physical strength as he does on being himself. That's a noble thing that he does. It's meant to show that he is the most heroic of the people there. You fool.
Oh, hi! Oh my god, I'm like Prince Adam! Oh my god! It's like, oh, okay, so Prince Adam.
He's not like that at all. He's very understated in the show. Again, unlike how he was in the 80s show. He was much more arch in that show.
Went very femmy, didn't he? All of a sudden. So that he just immediately gives his sword to Tina. It's just like, oh, you want the sword? There you go.
No, he doesn't. He has half of the sword that they need to save the world, and he's dead and he can't use it. So it's a piece of metal that he can't use as a sword, that if he gives it to her, it'll save the world, and if he keeps it, nothing happens. So yeah, he hands it over. It kind of makes sense in context.
There you go.
And again, it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't even matter. Because even if the first episode was He-Man walking up to Teela and saying, hey, I suck eggs. I suck real shit. Here's my sword. You're cooler than I am. And she took it and her tits fell off and she got big muscles and she says, I'm a dude now. That's who cares? Just don't watch the show if that bothers you. Watch something else.
So they get people to put the sword together, and then Adam is just like, right, now I'm going to turn into He-Man and do something, and then he gets betrayed by Evelyn. What a surprise.
It's not what happened.
And that's pretty much it where we are at the moment.
No, it isn't.
So Tina's
some key events actually happened
gonna
after
pick
that.
up the sword, and then she's going to, that's my guess. And if that comes true, then that's everything Clownfish said correct. The show was boring. The dialogue was uninspiring. Teela is an obnoxious, horrible lead, and yes, it is her show. And Duncan was, I quite enjoyed Duncan when he had a little bit of time.
I liked the man on the show, but I didn't like the girls. I thought the show had too many girls. I thought all the girls had shrill voices, but I liked the big boys. When the boys are back, I'll watch this show, but I don't want to watch a show about girls who are gay.
Other than that, I don't have a lot of positives to say that, but other than this is style over substance, because the animation is just so beautiful. But Kevin Smith is a big liar, and Clownfish TV were right. Hope you enjoyed the vid. If you did, do give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel. Follow me on social media and YouTube for live streaming. Links there in the description box down below. I'll be back with some more stuff very soon. You take care. Bye for now.
God, it's so badass. Somebody did a steppy on the baby. Maybe I didn't watch this right. I gave zero thought to who wanted to date who in it. I think the show is pretty... It's not explicit about the fact that Teela and Ardra are dating, but like it's everything but. Like it's heavily implied. And I think it's also pretty heavily implied that she had feelings for Adam. And also that Adam still has feelings for her because she's the whole reason that he comes back from heaven is to be with her. So I don't know. So what have we learned, do you think, about this one? What have we learned tonight? Who is the skull guy again? It's Skeleton Man, the villain of He-Boys. The He-Boys. Master Friends. We've learned Kevin Smith is a liar. He lied. He lied and said it wouldn't be about a girl, but it was. that's right. We learned that the girls on the show, instead of, frankly, I would have been fine if you get rid of He-Man. You don't want to do a show about He-Man and the Skeleton. That's fine, but at least put Clamp Champ around. Like, make him the hero. He's got a big clamp. I love Clamp Champ, the best guy. We learned not to listen to people that live in basements. I don't know if you're trying to slam dunk me, but I live in an apartment. They live in basements. And they have lots of cool toys. I love how they put their toys in the background. Like, I have Legos. Do you? I'm making sure to carefully frame my Legos in shot so that everybody knows I'm not just some guy without Legos. I got all the best Lego sets, assholes. Where are my toys? I own very few toys. I have a few. I've got a Green Power Ranger plushie. I've got a Batman toy that's in another province, and a Spider-Man and a Green Lantern. I have a little Bat Signal toy in another room. Most of my toys are in the other room. I have my awesome comic panel. Yeah, I got my Chris Onstad signed drawing. I learned it makes no difference to the right-wing grift whether you actually watch the things you're bitching about. I think the true grift is to complain about it before it comes out, and then complain about it when it comes out, and then revel in the backlash after. Which guy does Fistor get shipped with? Fucking everybody, as far as I'm concerned. Canonically, though, Stinkor. Stephanie Sterling has me beat. What did they do? To beat me, to defeat me? They have more toys? Is that what you mean? Undeniably, they have more toys than I do. They have more Willem Dafoe toys than I have toys total. Oh, I've been playing with a fidget cube this whole stream. That's a toy. I have a fidget spinner here as well, somewhere. Are video games toys? If video games are toys, I have several more. We have the same fidget cube. There's only one kind of... You mean we have the same color scheme? It's black and red, baby. This is my Ancom fidget cube. I will say, this is a medical device as far as I'm concerned. This keeps me on the narrow, baby, because this allows me to actually speak without just being like. I gotta be like. I don't know if you can hear that. If you don't see my hands on camera, that's what I'm doing at all times. Do I have board games? I have a few. I have a few board games. I don't have a lot. I have a Lego board game, so I do have some Legos. Eyeliner's on point? Actually, I'm not wearing eyeliner. I was wearing, I might still have some mascara on, but I took off my makeup. I put on makeup earlier, but to do videos, but I took it off because I had it on all day. I was afraid I would get pimples. It's true. We learned the word permanently. I forgot about that. I'm going to turn the music back on, but I'm going to carefully turn down the audio first so it doesn't blow out people's eardrums this time for once. It's not making any noise. That's very strange. All right. get yourself a yo-yo. I've owned many a yo. Do you know what was a great toy? Only 90s kids will understand this one. I don't know if y'all had yo-yo balls. It was an automatic yo-yo. Fully automatic yo-yo. It was an AY-15, automatic yo-yo 15. It was like a ball that had like a spring inside, and it had like a yo-yo string, and it would just automatically come back to you. And that was very novel back then. My makeup always looks good. Thank you. My makeup is very subtle in the videos you'll see coming out soon. I've made a lot of videos today. It's been a long day for me. But yeah, I did have a yo-yo ball. And then there was briefly a yo-yo craze after that, where I had a yo-yo that had ball bearings in it, which is the only one I've ever managed to actually successfully yo-yo with. I can't believe Thought Slam owns an automatic yo-yo, but not an automatic rifle. Well, automatic rifles are illegal in the country that I live in. But as of yet, unfortunately, automatic yo-yos remain legal. And I think it's dangerous. It's legit. It actually kind of is. I broke definitely a lot of stuff with mine. Maybe you don't remember, but I accidentally used your old name in a stream a few weeks ago because I didn't realize you had changed it to Mildred. So I just wanted to say sorry and also congratulations. Call me whatever. I don't care what people call me. Call me a sack of potatoes. Call me a big old piece of crap. It doesn't bother me. I went by the name Stinkmat for a long time. You think I care what I am called? You cannot hurt me with words. Call me Matt if it makes you more comfortable. Call me Mildred if that's what you prefer. Call me anything you like. Call me late for dinner. I have no standards. When I was at school, yo-yos were banned. Yeah, that happened at my school too. And what I did was I tricked my teacher into falling in love with Gordie Howe. Then I learned a valuable lesson when I realized I got in too deep and she developed actual feelings. My whole family helped me out of that jam. Wait, what is that phrase? Call me late for dinner? The classic joke is you say, call me anything you want, just don't call me late for dinner. I don't know where it comes from. Pokemon cards were banned in my school, so there was a black market. Pogs eventually got banned in my school, but all of my Pogs got stolen by a kid, and I totally ratted him out. I was like, that guy stole my Pogs. I regret nothing. You learned that about me today. I was a dirty snitch. I'll turn on any of you for my Pogs. I don't give a fuck. My principles end where my Pogs begin. Gordie Yole's name is ungoogleable because it's Gordie Howe, Howe. He's a famous hockey player that I think every Canadian who watched that episode of The Simpsons was like clocked that joke immediately. You and Sterling should play Pogs together. I would love to, and I would demolish them. I am a skilled Pogsmith. I don't know if my mom threw out my Pog. My mom recently threw out a bunch of my stuff, my kid stuff from when I was a kid that she was holding on to. She probably threw out my Pogs, but if I still have them, I have a bunch of shit Pogs that I don't mind beating up. So we don't have to mess up any of their cool Pogs, Boglin Pogs, etc. But I will throw down the gauntlet. I will challenge them to a Pog battle any day. Any day. What even are Pogs? It stands for Passion Fruit Orange Guava. It was a Hawaiian hobby that was colonized and brought to the rest of North America. It was originally they were the little paper inserts that came on that juice, passion fruit orange juice guava. That juice had a little cap that the paper insert at the top of the cap. People would take them, staple them together. You'd put a bunch of them, and then you would try and flip them over in a game. But then they became like a collectible fad in the mid-90s that were little cardboard discs with various pictures on them. And also, I recently learned Pog, like Poggers in Twitch, the PogChamp guy that comes from, that was about Pog, the passion fruit orange guava, the little cardboard discs. They were cardboard with Power Rangers on them. I did have Power Rangers Pogs for sure. I remember I had an Eye Guy Pog, and that clearly had an effect on me. And I had a Pog of Ernie, the juice vendor, who worked at the juice bar in Angel Grove, if you remember Ernie. Real ones remember Ernie from the juice bar. I had a Pog of him, so I remember him. Did I have Earthworm Jim Pog? I absolutely did, yes. Now, we have to make a distinction here. I had Earthworm Jim milk caps. I did not have Earthworm Jim Pog. There were never official World Pog Federation Earthworm Jim Pogs. Would Robot U be called a Mildroid? Like Mildred, an android? An android is a male robot. So, check your assumptions there. Why couldn't I be a gynoid? Earthworm Jim guy is kind of weird now. You mean Hatsune Miku? She's not that weird. What about Crazy Bones? I was too old for Crazy Bones. I didn't have any Crazy Bones. I'm sorry. Also, amazingly, I never had a tech deck. I kind of want one now. There is a part of me that sees people do cool tech deck tricks sometimes, and I'm like, that just looks like fun. That looks cool. I don't care. I'm going to buy the rights to He-Man and She-Ra and make a movie where He-Man and She-Ra are the same person and they're actually gender fluid. Yo. Yeah, there's a take. They have to like share a body. And like when one of them gets beaten in a fight, it's like, tag me in. And then in the final episode, they fight each other inside their mind. Why do robots need to be gendered? I don't know. Ask the person that named them androids. Why are they called... Okay, so this person has brought some real shit here. Okay. Android to droid, gynoid to noid. Oid is the suffix. It's modifying andro, so android, or gyno for gynoid. I don't know what a gender fluid robot will be called. That we don't have the term for that yet. The terms are still evolving. We're still working on the language. We're not there yet. We're gonna get there. Robots are gonna have all sorts of fucked up machine-generated genders that you never even thought about. Thoughts on the debate on Tim Pool? I felt it was a discussion more than a debate. No pushback whatsoever. It sucked. You know that gif from the Godzilla movie where Ken Watanabe's like, let them fight. That's my thoughts on that debate. That's nobody debated Dim Fool. The Vosh debated Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk just said a bunch of like ridiculous shit, and Vosh would go, not really. It's like, yep, okay, we did it. Fascism defeated. Roboid. No, I'm sorry. No. Non-binaroid, I think, would be probably Envoid? Would they be called Envoids? Scaredy question, have I watched the horror shows like Channel Zero or The Terror? So any thoughts or intentions of going in deep about them? I watched Channel Zero a long time ago. I have no plans at this time. The term robots does not come from the word anthro. The term robots is a Slavic word meaning worker or slave. What's my favorite anime? Real ones? No, it's Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is my favorite anime. That or King of the Hill. Hominoid, more likely, actually. I think hominoid is more of the genus, right? All androids, gynoids, and envoids are hominoids. Not a Gundam. I would argue that that one of the brothers in Full Metal Alchemist is kind of a Gundam. His mom dies and he gets sad about it, so he makes himself a Gundam by accident. I'm not wrong. Neutroid is also good. But Neutroid, I think, makes some assumptions. I don't think that all envoids would be neutroids. Not everyone is gender neutral. Not all non-binary people are gender neutral. You could be agendroid. You could be gender fluidoid. Madoka Magica is best anime? I don't know. I didn't watch it. How am I supposed to know that? I haven't seen every anime, so I can't tell you for sure which is the best one. I don't know. A small donation for good taste in anime? I'm getting very mixed messages here. Sorry, it's Cowboy Bebop. Here's the thing about Cowboy Bebop is I should have seen it because during my first anime phase was right at the time when I was poised to watch Cowboy Bebop. I just never did. I bet if I did, I would have stuck with anime. Instead, I fell out of anime. I never quite got back into it. Kimono Friends, Season 1, best anime. Better than King of the Hill? What's my favorite Naruto? Rock Lee. I don't know anything about Naruto. I know that he's the one that takes off the big heavy weights, and everybody's like, you think you're gonna beat me just by taking weights off your legs, buddy? And then he drops them, and it's like they're very heavy, and everybody's like, oh no, he's very strong, but then he loses anyway. He's a big loser. He never beats anybody. That's time. Did you have a near miss from falling down the right-wing rabbit hole when you were younger? Yeah, this is what my second video is about. Or was it my third? But I was deep into like a pickup artist shit when I was younger, which is why I was like, I need to get this. That is something that if I don't get out in front of, I'm going to be canceled about that someday. So I need to say this now. In my defense, I was very lonely and pathetic. Wow, definitely not dealing with that Sigma here. I am definitely not a Sigma male or a male. I am a Sigma envy, the rarest envy. You should see Cowboy Bebop, but also you're an inspiration for envy people like me. Thank you for all that you do. But you say you thank me for all that I do, but you wish that I would see Cowboy Bebop. I like this. This is some good constructive criticism. Think how powerful I would be if I saw Cowboy Bebop. I saw the sad man do space kung fu and smoke space cigarettes with the cute corgi. When you see Bebop, I'll thank you for that as well. I'll hold you to that. Watching Cowboy Bebop would be your lead taking up the weights moment. I got my sister into Thought Slime and she asked me if she's a liberal. Do you mean that she asked if I'm a liberal or if she is a liberal? She's so put off by my videos. She's like, I'm gonna become a liberal. Listen to this asshole. I'm not dealing with them. I'm being a liberal. She's a lib, but we're working on it. Fuck you. Was I too young for Mad Balls? No, I think anything that was gross I was into as a kid. Anything that was gross and full of ooze and slime, feces and genitals, I loved as a kid. What's my take on guy and or dude as a gendered term? I use them forever as just person, and well, I'm a dumb white guy. Thoughts? I don't think it's a good habit to fall into. I like it, you know, that being said, like you have to make some allowance for people just saying things unconsciously. But I think if someone tells you that it makes them uncomfortable, or if you don't know if it would make someone uncomfortable and you're thinking about it, you should try and avoid it. This is why I invented the dude plus, dude minus, or dude positive, dude negative system, where you can signify whether you're okay with being called dude without it having to be an awkward conversation. I personally am comfortable being called dude. I know plenty of women that are comfortable being called dude. I know plenty of people that aren't as well. So it's a touchy subject. It definitely is a gendered term. And the classic example is like, you know, you say to a straight guy, would you fuck a dude? And they'll go, oh no. And then you go, aha, I trapped you in my rhetorical web. That's Slime, more like a cool person. You just got me, what can I say? Did I have a creepy crawler oven? Oh, man. My creepy crawler... So that was the #1 toy I asked for every single Christmas. And when I got one, after like many years of asking, I played the shit. I used all of the creepy crawler fluid. I got like new packs to make different bugs. I had like a Power Ranger making thing for my creepy crawler oven. Yeah, I fucking loved that. I had a pencil box that I kept all of my creepy crawlers in, I remember. Thank you for everything. Great stream and videos. You are also helping a ton with my NB expression. Hey! That's my I'm glad I helped you dance. Any thoughts on Pontypool as a horror movie? Love the content, BT dubs. I have not seen Pontypool, and every time someone types it out, I think of the movie Ponyo. I don't know why those two movies in my head occupy the same space. I know Pontypool is like a movie about a guy gradually turning into a zombie, and he's got a radio and he's trying to radio out for help or something like that. That's what I think it's about anyway. I haven't seen it. And Ponyo is about a sad little fish boy. Fond memories of the Sega game Boogerman? Of course I loved Boogerman, a pick and flick adventure for the Sega Genesis. And also the not as good version for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. I mentioned in a video that I once stayed up all night beating that game. I beat it for some reason. I was driven to defeat Boogerman, a pick and flick adventure. Thoughts on the Babadook if you've seen it? Who's gonna tell them? I have a complex relationship with Babadooks. There's an infamous Babadook that has somewhat hijacked my horror movie channel, Scaredy Cats. You know him, you love him. He's the star of the channel, the bit that won't quit. Robert Muhammad Duke. I wasn't expecting Boogerman discourse coming back. Boogerman is a great game. I don't care what anybody has to say. Because they'll all universally say, no it isn't, what are you talking about? And I'll have to shut up. Call him up right now? Alright. Hey Bobby, what's up? No, I'm on stream right now. People wanted me to call you. Oh. No, I won't. No, that's between us. All right. Okay. Love you too. Bye. No lie, your content has been transformational for me and other folks I know. Thank you. This is my transformational dance. Imagine the Transformers music playing when I do that. Chi-cha, choo-cha. Is Mildred secretly married to Bobby? Why would I marry Bobby Duke? I have a human wife. I require no Bobby Duke husband. I can't just love my agent slash astronaut slash CIA agent, but the Bobby Duke CIA, who are cool. Not the real one. Have I seen the Green Knight movie? I haven't. I tried to see it. I went to the theater to get a ticket, and the guy behind the counter was like, "You're not ready yet. Come back in 1 year, and you can see this movie." Have I seen the Fear Street movies? I've seen the first two. I haven't watched the third one yet. It's the next movie I'm going to watch for Scaredy Cats. I still want closure on a terrorist plotline. Hashtag justice for Bobby's sister. She's fine. She got out. Then who is the father of Bobby's child, Mildred? None of your fucking business. Do you think I'm going to fucking tell you all of Bobby Duke's medical history? You think I'm going to be out here? You think because we work together, I'm going to tell you all about his personal life? I'm going to fucking dox the father of Bobby Duke's children? You think I can? No, it's none of your business. How dare you? How many woke did we count? A shockingly low 6. It was a failed bit. I must say. It was a failed bit, and I'm sorry. I couldn't get past the first 20 minutes. Oh, you missed out, because it actually does get good. Oh, wait, are you talking about Green Knight? I don't know. I haven't seen that one. If you're talking about Fear Street, it does get good. Am I vaxxed? Hell yeah. I got all the jabs. Get them in me. Should have done a She-Man count. Yeah. It's bizarre how much different the second half of the Fear Street movie is from the first half. Because it doesn't just get, like, okay. It gets really good. Not only has he hijacked Scaredy Cats, he's now hijacked the stream. What can I say? He's a very charismatic fellow. Any chance this will be archived? I want to watch this tomorrow. Here's the secret. Simply save the link. You can watch it whenever you want. Has Bobby ever mentioned something about an enigmatic eyeball zone? I don't know what that means. That Del Slicer cemented me as a fan. Oh man, that was so good. I was like, the whole time I'm like, they're not gonna. There's no way this movie is gonna. Don't fucking tease me with this. You don't have the grapes. And then when they did, I was like, all right. And I took out the piece of paper where I had written, this movie is bad, and I crossed it out. And I wrote, good, question mark? I love both of your channels, and I know it's bad form to make requests, but I have found the most socialist and just bad creature feature horror movie ever, Parasite, the one from the 1970s. And there are way better movies I'd love to see you cover. It's a weird way to spell society, which also isn't from the 70s. It's from the 80s, but is the movie that you're describing. I've never heard of this other socialist Parasite film. But you had me at creature feature. Let me ask you a question. And I think you know what it's going to be. On a scale of 1 to 10, how wet them puppets be? How wet are those puppets? I like them real wet. The puppets. I'm referring to puppets. How wet are the puppets? That's all I need to know. Best slime-related movie? The Blob, the 80s version of The Blob, in my opinion. Do you ever have dreams where you're the strange servant of one Lord Oculon? I used to have dreams where there was a recurring antagonist who was never seen in the dream. But my ex, when we were together, she was like a servant of this evil vampire named Lord Draxon. It was like so scary in the dreams, and I'd wake up and it would always be the funniest thing. Like, I had another dream about Lord Draxon. One puppet. The puppet is a 3 most of the time, but at one point gets to a 7. I mean, that'll get me there. That'll tide me over. Does the fly count as slime related? I don't think so. There's slime in it. Slime doesn't take a priority. It's the Power Rangers movie with Ivan Ooze. They asked about a horror movie. Did they not? And Ivan Ooze, shamefully underutilized. He does have that great line where they're like, you don't know who you're dealing with, pal. We're the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And he goes, Oh, well, where's my autograph book? Castle Freak is slimy? No, Castle Freak ripped his ding dong off. Real ones know what I'm talking about. Hashtag ding dong gate. Will there ever be a definitive tier list of wet puppet movies? No, not a definitive one. I haven't seen every movie with a wet puppet in it. I love that every time someone brings up Castle Freak, I make the same joke. And a few people in chat are like, haha, I see what you're doing there. And then other people are like, what the fuck? What is wrong with you? That doesn't happen in the movie. If anyone ever brings up the films Head of the Family, Castle Freak, or Invisible Maniac, I'm always going to make the same joke. What is your top wet puppet? I would say it's probably the monster from Terror Vision. Could you say, hey Jess, Matt loves you a whole lot. Thanks, slime friend. No, I won't say it. I won't say it because it could be interpreted that I'm saying that I love Jess. I don't know Jess. I'm sure they're lovely, but I don't know them. Okay, I'll say it. Hey Jess, Matt loves you a whole lot. Did I ever watch the 90s Outer Limits? Hell yeah, dude. I watched the 2 episodes of the 90s Outer Limits, and they're both fucking bangers. There's one where the aliens come and they're like, we like your planet, like you're almost destroying it. We're just gonna fucking get rid of your planet. It's not worth it. And it's fucking the guy who played Lionel Luthor on Smallville and the Devil on Brimstone. I forget his name. John Glover. So the governments of Earth like come together and they achieve world peace with this huge dossier, and it's like this enormous effort that requires everyone to cooperate, and we finally overcome all of our differences, and they give it to the aliens, and the aliens are like, oh no, this is a funny misunderstanding. We wanted you to be more warlike. We created you as weapons, and now you're not warlike enough. That's why we're destroying you. But that's funny though, that you did that, and then they destroyed the Earth. And then the other one I saw was it was about an evil shadow that lived under a little boy's bed, and he could command it to kill anyone, but it could never be ordered to kill him, because no shadow man can be commanded to kill the person whose bed they live under is the secret of Shadow Man. And then at the end of the episode, he's attacked by a Shadow Man. And he's like, "What? This is crazy. You're not supposed to kill me. You're my slave." And the guy's like, "Nah, I'm a different Shadow Man." And he kills him. And it's like, yeah, of course this is a bad episode. Those are two episodes of The Outer Limits that I remember. This has been 2 episodes of The Outer Limits. And now it's time, I think. It's time for everybody's favorite segment on this program. It's time for Laugh Out Loud Jokes for Kids by Rob Elliott. I found your channels this year and I've been an enormous fan since. I'd love to see you cover the Elm Street films in more detail on Scaredy Cats. Something tells me you're going to get your wish. I'm never going to be able to shut up about Nightmare on Elm Street. It's my favorite film series. Okay. All right. Okay. Settle down. Everybody be calm. Why did the lady wear a helmet every time she ate? She was on a crash diet. Parasite from 1982, my bad, is bad. It just surprised me as all. Other movies I'd love to see your review. Wreck and Porno. Shudder is awesome. I assume you mean the film Porno on Shudder and not just a random porno, which would also be fun, I think. This is MILF Attack 12. In this one, the MILF does oral in this movie, and so that's what this one's about. If this is kosher, can I do a plug? My latest music video is a very goofy Squiggle Vision cartoon about Steven Crowder going to an elementary school to debate kids. Yeah, you can do a plug about this video, and in fact, if you could email me the details, I could maybe plug it harder than that somehow. I have means to plug this. I cannot reveal them at the moment. Let's just say that there's a zone that would not directly get involved, but perhaps their son would get involved. I won't say what zone. But anyway, why did the hot dog turn down the chance to star in the movie? This one's actually a good joke. I'm actually happy with this joke. Because none of the roles were good enough. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good joke. I'm always disappointed when the jokes are actually good. Did you hear about the restaurant on the moon? It has great food, but no atmosphere. What do you call a fairy that doesn't take a bath? Get ready for, because this is going to be someone in chat's new username. Stinkerbell. It's Stinkerbell. What did one candle say to the other? Do you want to go out tonight? Yeah, I'm sure the candle would say that. Hey, do you want to die? Do you want to do what is death for us as candles? Lighten up is a better punchline. You should be writing this joke. What's a plumber's favorite vegetable? A leek. That would be a plumber's least favorite vegetable. Plumbers hate leaks. Their whole thing is fixing leaks. They would hate that. How did the French fry propose to the hamburger? He gave her an onion ring. Aw, that one's very romantic. What is 4 legs, 1 head, but only 1 foot? That's not a joke, it's a riddle. It's a bed. I have some real problems with the next one. What do potatoes wear to bed? Yammies. A yam is not a potato. If it was, what do sweet potatoes wear to bed? This is, and coming up, get ready for probably the worst joke I've seen in this book. What fruit teases people a lot? A banana, na. Why was the metal wire so upset? It was getting all bent out of shape for nothing. What do you call the story of the three little pigs? Oh, it's a pigtail. It's a pigtail. What did the peanut butter say to the bread? Well, the peanut butter saying this. Keep that in mind. That's important to the joke. Quit loafing around. What did the peanut butter say back? What did the bread say back to the peanut butter? What did the bread retort to that one? Bread was ready to go. Oh yeah, peanut butter? You think I'm loafing around? I think you're nuts. Actually, Rob Elliott, they're legumes. What kind of lights did Noah use on the ark? Floodlights. They hadn't been invented yet. What the fuck are you talking about? How did the orange get into the crowded restaurant? Well, he squeezed his way in. You know how you, like, it's squeezing. It's like an orange. Why can't, how come the bank can't keep a secret? Why can't the bank keep a secret? It's got too many tellers. That doesn't bode well. There's a lot of stuff that I need the bank to keep secret, actually. I told the bank my secret identity. I had to open an account and get a back credit card. Oh, that probably gives it away, actually. Why was the sewing machine so funny? Like this book. Kept everybody in stitches. Why did the hamburger always lose the race? How come that hamburger was always losing the race? Couldn't catch up. Do you do alcohol? If I gave you $5, would you pretend to take a shot? Either way, I love your content. You do a more phenomenal job. Cheers. I will do a shot of water. If I do drink alcohol, I'm not drinking right now. It totally went up my nose. Oh, boy. Lord of Patriarchy makes that look so easy. This next joke is going to... I'm going to save this one till the end of the page because it's actually, fuck it. I'll just tell it. This will be the last joke for tonight because the other joke sucks too bad. Folks, here's the joke. This is on page 39 of Laugh Out Loud Jokes for Kids in the Q&A joke section. Get ready for this. I don't want anybody getting horny over this joke, okay? Promise me. Promise me you won't get horny and I'll tell the joke. Okay, well, you asked for it. The question is, how do you punish a naughty eyeball? How do you punish a naughty eyeball? Is written in this book. And the answer is you give it 50 lashes. 50! 50! Strong corporal punishment against this naughty eyeball. You think I'm joking? Unbelievable. The last joke, by the way, why was the rope stressed out? It was getting itself all tied in knots. Should have been, it was afraid not. God. I'm kind of horny now. I asked you not to. This is the exact opposite of what I wanted. How dare you? You think I'm joking? Well, you're reading a joke book. I want to send you guys to Kamazat's, but he's been very rude about my ice difficulties. So I'm gonna send you there, but I want everybody to condemn him for his ice treachery and the spurious, frankly libelous things he said about my ice. For those that don't know, I have a special gene. I possess a mutation that gives me the superpower to smell ice, and ice fucking stinks. Ice smells bad. Not just, like, obviously, the police department ice smells bad. Obviously, it's terrible. Everybody can smell that. I'm talking about ice like frozen water. It smells bad. It smells fucking awful. It smells like pennies. It's terrible. And he's been telling people. He's been going around telling people that I don't clean my freezer. That I got something stinky in my freezer. I don't appreciate that. Now I think we need to hold him accountable. This is a call in, not a call out. Okay. I just want him to stop the lies. I just want him to stop the lies. That's all I want. I want him to be real. Thanks for coming to my stream. There's not going to be a stream next week because I'm not going to be at my computer. So you won't. So that won't happen next week. It did happen this week, so there's that. But the week after that, we'll see. Oh, there'll be a stream then. Who knows what it's going to be about? We do know how to punish an eyeball. You whip it, apparently. Seems a bit much to me, but that's what the book said. So there you